Live, right, right. Now we are live. Hello and welcome, everyone. I have as my co pilot Richard, not a Freemason stonemason, or actually a Richard a stonemason, not a Freemason.
Absolutely.
And it's always lovely to have him around.
Well, it's
And you,
nice to be around.
how are
I
you
haven't.
feeling? You said you weren't feeling well on the last stream. I just wanted to check on
No, it sort of stems back to summer, really.
Okay.
Summer. Something happened. The sun was different. It's a different heat, different heat coming off the sun.
Oh, really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Was
Yeah,
it like, did you feel like you were being microwaved? Like that kind of a heat?
yeah. It was like
Yeah.
being in front of a heat lamp, really close to a heat lamp. It was really different. It was just totally unique, really, to anything I've experienced before. I'll just let you know I haven't received any notifications of this channel.
Right. Yeah, because I'm
So
Shadow Man.
I've just got one now. Just got a notification that this has gone live a minute ago. But prior to that, I didn't get any notifications. I,
Yeah.
I don't know how I think I come across a community page post you made. And then I realised that I'd missed about 4 or 5 live streams of yours.
Yeah, I know. I
But,
needed. Did you hear me saying one of them? I said Richard doesn't know about this channel yet, or something's going on because I know you would come if you knew I was
yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah. I think you did one live stream, and it was sort of sharing your this channel. So I subscribed to that, but I hadn't. I like I say, I no notification, but I've got a notification for this one,
Well, that's good.
but not as a pending live stream. I only got a notification when you went live. So
Right. Well, the thing about that, the potential maybe is if you don't schedule it at least 30 minutes in advance, they don't send an alert, perhaps, but I don't know for sure. Do you know?
no, it doesn't happen. Um, I've I've seen notifications for live streams like the following day that I haven't received a notification for that. It's only when they go live, I think, that the notification will come up. We don't get notifications for community posts, so they're playing around. I think what I've been witnessing, probably over 3 years now, maybe even longer, is certain, like when they did away with the the posts. You can make posts on your channel, so you can. It was a
Post.
little bit like Facebook. You could just have conversations in the chat, in a chat page on
Oh,
your YouTube. Well, they
I
did away
never
with
don't
that.
remember that. Yeah, when was that? Long time ago?
Oh no, no, no! They maybe did away with it within the last 2 years. But I can't remember. It might have been just called titled posts, but they did away with it. And then, but what I actually did was wiped away a load of history of communication, of information. So they just completely destroyed it, really, the post page, because there's a lot of things I had on there that, about even things like pan, the definition of pan,
Uh-huh.
as in pandemic, and pan was a god of
Yeah,
sort of like enticement, like the Pied Piper, a
yes,
pan.
and it was half man, half, well,
That's it.
but it was really creepy. Half,
Yeah, but even things like that were on this posts page, like you've got a community tab now.
right. It's a lot of your research and such is what
That's
goes
it,
in.
yeah.
Yeah,
And it's a sort of like a focal point to have a conversation about specifics,
yeah.
without having to go through watching a video.
Well, you can
But
do that on community now. I mean, that seems like
well, you can do it on community, but at one point you had to have 1,000 subscribers to get a community tab.
yeah, I know. And then they started giving them to everyone recently.
Well, and then they dropped it to 500.
Mm-hmm.
And I was pretty close to when I got to 500, it just appeared. I didn't ask for it; it just appeared.
That's what happens. Yeah.
And now I think they're just giving them away for nothing.
They
So there's
did, but some of my channels have it, and some of my channels don't. And they don't. The channels that don't even have many subs, one has it, one doesn't.
yeah.
It's interesting, yeah, why they're doing
So
it that way.
whatever game they're playing, I'm pretty sure it's about censorship. Really?
Do you think? Are you
Well, it's got
sure?
to be. It's about the silence of the lambs.
Yeah, and wow, I mean, think of it. Think of it right there.
Yeah,
I never see. You know how that? Remember, I was saying the other day how I feel like bubbles are popping and information. My ability to see things is like it's lifting. Like
yeah,
like how many years have we heard that name of that movie? I've referred to it many many times. There, where I think certain psychopaths actually have to be locked up like that.
yeah,
But when you just said that, it hit me a whole new way. Just so
yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
And even within that film, it's about first it's about cannibal. But secondly, there is a scene in the video where he actually cuts a man's brain out, part of a man's brain,
And he eats it, right?
and he eats it. So what you've actually got there, it sort of aligns with the end of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, how they shut Jack Nicholson up, who was a troublemaker in that facility. They did a lobotomy on him, didn't they?
Hey,
Just to
was
shut
that
him up.
person alive while he was eating the brains? Did he somehow?
Yeah, because the guy was having a chat,
Oh,
wasn't he?
Jesus Christ. I can't even think about this. I hated that movie. I wished I'd never seen it. I don't like horror movies, but I was working in entertainment and I went to the premiere of that movie. And
Oh wow,
oh God, it was ugh, I don't like it.
it's pretty gross, but
I don't like it.
yeah, it is pretty gross. But I think
But it's real. It's horrifying, and
it's
that's
predictive
why.
programming. Yeah.
And oh my gosh, what did I want to show you? Oh, did you see my video where somebody showed Santi Klaus Schwab shape-shifting?
Doing what?
Shape-shifting.
No.
Do you know what shape-shifting is?
Oh, I know what shapeshifting is. Yeah,
I
yeah,
thought you would. Would you like to
yeah.
see it? It's not even really like a long thing. It's just a picture.
Can you get it up?
Yeah, but the problem is this. Like, I'm going to contact the guy and ask him for the source video because I need to see the context which he pulled it out of
Yeah.
because I don't understand. It's just a snapshot of something, and so you don't watch the actual not liquefaction. What is it called when it starts breaking down? I forget the word for it.
What, the actual video breaking down? The footage?
When you're watching a video and you see these people shape shifting, when they're losing their human form and they start melting, they actually start melting, and it's like this weird liquefaction-y, this
Yeah.
crystallization, but it only happens over them, not in the rest of the video, and that's how.
Oh, yeah. Hello, Anna.
Those are
I thought I'd
weird.
get that in there first. Anna K.
I said hi, Anna. I want to show you. So let me show you that, and then I want remind me. I don't. Did you hear what I was talking about, David Icke? I don't like to repeat myself about a video I recently saw, and I dropped the link, but I didn't play it because I think it could be something that could get a strike. It's on Anonymous. Okay, what was the first thing? I'm looking for Kninigan. I don't know if you know this guy, Kninigan. He's been around a long time. His specialty is the reptilians, and he's been researching it for over 10 years. And he does some really interesting stuff. So he has been trying to catch Klaus shape-shifting, and he said he finally got it, and I'm going to show it to you now. Hold on. And this is not a joke. The only thing about it is I need context. I need to know. It's when you're looking at things like this in itself, this is easily photoshopped. So you have to see the live action, or you got to know where it's coming from, in my view. But I don't know how your feelings are about that. I don't.
Absolutely, yeah.
He didn't. He's not faking this. and he's convinced that that's what it is. I need to ask him, is there actual video of that? Like, but I believe the guy believes it and saw it. I don't think the guy's a bullshitter. But anyway, here it is. And look at the black lips. Oh, creepy. Look at that.
Make it massive.
Oh, wait, I got to bang out the screen in streamer. I'm not on full screen, sorry. Here we go. And then we come back here, because then I can make it full screen in here. Like this. Will be better.
Good morning, Babylon. Listen, I don't mean to be mean, but I'm not going to say it again. Listen, my reptilian research has not changed in 10 years. It's been the same story I've been telling over and over, starting with the Anunnaki and Babylon. And now one of my subs is accusing me of being a puppet of Satan. Please, I don't know where you're going with it. Have you ever seen me shapeshift on video? No. Whatever. I'm not even, so I don't know what the problem is. I don't know. It's the holidays. People get emotional. I don't know. It could be that time of month. I don't know. Anyway, what was on my bucket list? Hold on, I got the opera playing in the background. It calms me down. Yeah, one of my goals was, because I already got him with his cockstock on, playing Bride of Satan on the beach, I wanted to find Klaus Schwab shapeshifting.
Did you see Klaus in his cocksock playing Bride of Frankenstein on the beach yet, Richard?
Oh, I've seen that, yeah. I think David Yates got a picture of that in one of his books.
What the heck is that? Okay, tell me more about that when we come back. This is only a couple seconds longer. It's almost over.
This isn't exactly shapeshifting, but this is a liquid crystal polarization occult anomaly. But gee, that one wasn't hard to figure out now, was it? Yeah. I got Klaus Schwab shifting, and I just made this pick. I got it. Booyah! There goes my bucket list for the year. Awesome. So I'm happy. I got it. I just, I got Klausy shapeshifting. There it is.
Klausy.
Any questions or comments, leave them below. If you could support the channel, all the links are in the description. Take care, and God bless.
You want to look at it some more? Or?
No. Yeah, I can see what you mean by getting in contact.
But he explained it's a liquefaction. He told you what that represents and the lingo and all that. But that, okay, so you've seen him. I got to show the picture though, because maybe other people haven't seen it. How do you explain? How is that explained? I mean, we know they're into weird sex rituals, and most of them are homosexual or deviant, sexually deviant, sexual deviance, because that's what their deal is. I mean, that goes back to the Bible. When they were doing their weird shit, and that I've told you, I believe the Babylonians and the Egyptians got in there. They were having orgies. They were doing the sex rituals. They were worshiping the golden calf. It's all of that standard crap that these people do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Okay, let me just show the people.
Did you know that orgies were like Christmas was a time for orgies, like the Romans?
You started talking about that, and I kind of sidetracked, but
yeah.
No,
just going on to orgies. It was a Roman thing, and I think Christmas got outlawed in England or Britain just because of that, the debauchery.
Wow.
Yeah,
well,
it's quite amazing.
Remember Caligula? Ew.
No.
You don't know about Caligula?
No.
He was one of the standout perverts of the Roman Empire, and there was
go on, yeah. I put on that channel.
No, Caligula, the ruler Caligula, and interesting enough, and this may offend some people, but Helen Mirren was in that. She was quite young, early 20s. Okay, I believe she was not born female. Now, with hindsight, looking at stuff, so it's all so weird. I'm trying to find Klaus in what he called his cocksock. That is one of the creepiest damn things I've ever seen. He has a lot. Yeah, he's got some interesting. Where you can view my Donald Trump reptilian Johns. So he's saying that he caught Trump shapeshifting. So I don't know if you want to look at any of that.
Yeah, have a look at it. I mean, one frame from a digital representation.
It's not enough.
Well, no, it's not enough. It's You know, there's no. I wouldn't say Klaus Schwab was a reptilian based on that. I
Well,
just call that a
yeah.
camera glitch, really,
Well,
or
it's
a manipulation. It might have been, you know.
yeah.
And here's the thing: the guy was actually asking for support for his channel, which basically means donate. So you
Oh,
know,
he does. He
you
does
got to
ask
keep
for
your
support.
you got to keep your audience interested if you're trying to sell a product, haven't you?
Right. Yeah.
So you know, you're spot on with it not being in any context because it ain't.
Yeah. For him to claim that he got it. Nah, you didn't get it yet.
Okay, Baz.
Can't that you got to be able to prove it more than that. Okay,
Yeah, that's
but he does have other interesting things, so don't judge him on that.
no,
But I wanted to show that picture of I'm sure I can Google it. So let me just get this video out that I was going to show you. That he says it's Trump. And hello to whoever came in, and I will say hello in 1 second. Where is it? I was going to play it, and now it's not here.
Of course, another thing they do is they use green screens. They use a lot of green screens. These high-profile people, they use a lot of green screens, which is why one reason perhaps why the background in that image wasn't affected, but the swab was, because they're two different projections, aren't they? It's like layered. So you've got the backdrop, which is separate from the foreground, the Klaus Schwab. So if he lizarded out and the background didn't, and they say, oh, you know, if it was manipulation, CGI, and everything, the whole thing would have gone. No, not necessarily. Do you see it a lot on the ISS, International Space Station? The people fizzle out and fizzle back in and out and in and out and fuzzy, whereas the background remains the same. So dealing with technology, I wouldn't base anything really on
yeah, but
anybody.
some of this when you see it, it's freaky as heck, man. And I think some of this has got to be factual. I mean, I feel it that it seems to me like a potential thing that could be real. Can I prove it 100%? No. But
no.
He's got David Icke shapeshifting. He's got Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, which is not necessarily Ravi Shankar, the musician. He has. I'm trying to find the Donald Trump one. It's very odd because there it is. I got it. Where you can view my Donald Trump reptilian Johns. So let's see. It may not be on here. Let's see if he's no, he's gonna show it here. Hold on. You knew I was a snake when you asked me to run, he said. Oh, he said that. Trump said that. You knew I was a snake when you asked me to run. That's an interesting thing to say.
What he said was, you knew I was a snake before you let me in.
Wow. Oh, that's crazy. I never heard that. Hi. Okay.
That is a poem. That's a proper poem. That's a let me see if I can find it here.
Hi, Bass. Thank you for coming. Tell me when you're ready, and then we have to just see if the sound's working.
Do it.
Did you hear that? Did you hear him say good evening? Good evening. It's Kinnigan.
It's not playing.
Okay, then I have to select the tab thing. So let me go back, because sometimes you don't have to, and sometimes it's just weird. Stream there, so that's fine. Okay, present, show screen. This is kind of a. It's scary, but it's kind of a fun thing to look at because it's just a trippy thing, but it is scary. Okay, here we go. I think you will be able to hear it this time. Sound up.
Good evening, it's Kinnigan. So here's the deal. If you're a channel member, The inauguration of Donald Trump 2016 is on my YouTube. However, I didn't have to worry about the copyright with that one because I made these videos like 5 years ago. So it's a little hard to.
Oh, you know what? I have to let it load, but because my connection's not great. Sorry. So we're going to let that load just for a second. We can talk. Just say hi to the people in the chat. Bonjour. Comment ça va? Comment ça va?
There's a couple of interpretations of that poem. You knew I was a snake when you picked me up. That's one of them. But the one Donald Trump actually said was, "You knew I was a snake before you
let me in, you said.
Before you let me in." Yeah. So, you know, if that ain't letting the truth out of the bag, I don't know what is. And everybody, it didn't resonate with anybody what the term snake might mean. You know, I mean, I wouldn't go in the same room as a snake, even if it was in a glass tank. It'd have to be like inch thick glass between the snake and me. They're fascinating creatures, but me and snakes in the same room ain't gonna happen.
Yeah. I'm not really freaked out by them, but I don't want to be near the ones that bite and are poisonous.
Well, it's not so much that; it's about what the snake represents. Which
Okay,
is
but do
serpents.
you think? So this is a great. Oh, I'm so glad you said that. So you think that every snake would be evil, and every lizard would be evil as well?
No.
Okay, good. I'm glad you said that.
No.
Because I don't think they're evil. I don't think owls are evil.
It's like I said, I'm not talking about the animal snake. I'm talking about the symbology of the snake when we're dealing with scripture, really.
Gotcha.
You know I was a snake before you let me in. Well, in biblical reference, because he did say he was a chosen one as well. So who chose him? It's got to be Satan. If he said, "I am the snake," Satan let me in. So I think he's. I don't for 1 minute think he's on our side. Not for 1 minute. You're talking about men with power. You're talking about a man with immense power. I'm not talking about strength. I'm talking about clout of influence. I mean, he had that show, You're Fired, didn't he? They call it You're Fired in America.
Mm-hmm.
He was on that. We had that here prior to that with Alan Sugar, who's, you know, he's another guy that can tread on people's throats to get what he wants in business. You've got to be ruthless to be successful in business, or
at that level, yes.
Well, absolutely. You just got to have your moral scruples. Have got to be. You want to be wealthy, and that's it, really. And simple as that. Come what may, whatever the cost. And I think Donald Trump's like that. Personally, I'm not judging him. I'm just saying. You know, you don't get selected to be American president on anything else in selection.
That's right.
So
that's what it is, and
absolutely.
It's so shocking that other people don't know. And in fact, yesterday, or whenever it was recently, I was watching this thing when Trump was. They had a special event. It was after he was already in office, after all this. I'm gonna block her up and all that crap. And he was at the lectern, and he and Hillary were laughing together, and you can see the whole fight is just a LARP. It's a LARP. It doesn't mean anything. They're related. They're not against each other. And she's sitting next to a Catholic priest, and it's some weird crap. And then they were pointing out she was wearing pink, this pink color, and someone else was as well that looked like a man in drag. And they were saying, you know, you're talking about those colors being representative of hell. I think that they were that tied in there in some way. It's interesting. You got to go back and watch that. I mean, if people who could, if that was in the mainstream media, okay, and everyone saw that, how could they not know? It's because people are brainwashed. It's that I don't get angry at the people that are brainwashed, because is it really their fault? I can't say that it is. You know how Michael would get so pissed? Yeah, you fucking sheep. Yeah, 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 yeah. You know, like, these people are sick. They're brainwashed. Why are you angry at them? Like, it's in some of them, it's not their fault. What do you think? What's your view on that?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. You know, and a lot of this is how Donald Trump got away with saying what he said. Some of the things, something else just come into my mind, but it fell back out. Oh, it was what you said, drain the swamp. One of his famous ones was drain the swamp. Well, the way they look at us is we are the swamp, really. So the drain the swamp won't get rid of the Hillarys and the you know, any of the other ones. This draining the swamp was getting rid of us. That's the way I've seen that. But most people, it's not their fault. Forgive them for they know not what they do. I've been led down a path since birth, through the generations. We've been led down this path where Satan is playing on temptation. You know, that's one of the greatest things to overcome is temptation. You know, and I think that's what this realm is all about, really, from God's perspective, is to test us and how we deal with temptation. And we've been given a way out of it. And as soon as we realize how the devil works, and it's all about coercion and temptation, don't be tempted by something that you know is going to do you some harm. So you walk away from it. If you're an alcoholic, don't be tempted to go into a pub for 1 pint, because you know the chances are you won't come out on your feet. Really, temptation. How do you deal with temptation? I think that's one of the biggest things. Even the temptation to think ill of people is like judging somebody else based on our own standards. But it's a temptation to form an opinion on somebody else, to condemn them, really, not to praise them and say, "Oh, brilliant." It's that element of trying to bring people down and lower their, just sort of lower their conscious energy. Which is what one thing I say: don't be tempted to get involved in these fucking little spats with these insignificant children that are playing a game. I know that's sort of simplified it, but that again it's like a form of baiting. Here, have a go at this, have a go at this. Concentrate on, you know, the sort of people like London. I mean, you know, we could probably go on for a never-ending chat on his channel, just because it's pretty open, but it's not dwelling on sort of negatives. It's like problem solving and things like that. But I think temptation is crucial to realize, and then to try and overcome temptation. You know, but leave the shit. Take the gold, leave the shit. That was your words. Paraphrase. You know, concentrate on those people that appreciate you, those people that like to interact with you, like your opinions. Fuck the rest, mate. Honestly, fuck them. Everything is designed by this world is designed to knock us back, keep us down, keep our energy low, keep our energy negative. And the greatest victory is when we can overcome that and just say, listen, you know, if you want a hand up, I'll offer my hand to you down there, to your flipping bunny boilers. Yeah, there you go. I'll help you back up, but please don't bring me down to your level. I'll help you up to my level. And if they refuse it, that's like people refusing the gift of righteous salvation, made possible by the sacrifice of Jesus Christ. What's the best thing you can do is to offer your life to save others. That's the biggest gesture of love we can do, is to offer our lives for the benefit of other people. And this is 2023, boo. You fucking started off now, or from London's chat, from London's live stream, because you come in there, there was no negativity. It was mature debate. There was no mudslinging. It was from different backgrounds of understanding and education, all coming together
Yes,
in
and
for a
that's
positive good. And
he
that has
has
got to be
very
your
interesting thing.
absolutely that. And this
I
as
like
well. This is discussing real world events.
Yep.
But this is, I think you should just say, like, fuck it. 2023. I'm gonna take your advice, Richard, and that is it. I am just gonna say, right, I've extracted the gold. There ain't no gold in Bunny Boiler's channel. There's no gold in it at all.
It's not that point. The point is people are bullying and silencing.
I know. I appreciate that.
They just bullied a woman off, and they took her channel down and silenced her. It's wrong. And
I know that.
That's part of my mission. I have to speak up for these things. It's
Well,
not drama. It's because people have been harmed. Her
yeah, but don't you understand that they're getting so much joy out of watching you suffer? Don't you understand that? Don't you understand how they're rubbing their hands?
That's not the point. It doesn't matter. The point is people that have been harmed. People should stand up for them, and I'm standing up for the lady. They just did that shit too, because it's wrong. Like she was going, excuse me, she was going off the deep end. Because one lady being attacked, she's even older than I am, by all these people with, showing guns and loading guns and clicking the thing and showing nooses, tying nooses, and her niece had died had hung herself. And it's really bad. And I will not turn a blind eye. I know I don't like it. I don't want that energy, but also I will help people because that is part of my mission. I have to do that, and until I can't, I'll stop when I can stop. But I can't. But I will do it differently. I will not be emotionally engaging from my own personal experience and drama. So I will not be in it for myself. I can't address it if I'm going to be emotional. I have to be neutral when I'm addressing it. So it'll be different. I'm not saying I'm going to do it for sure. But I'm also saying I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
We'll see how it pans out. But the goal would be, we don't have time for that. And what I've been saying is, there's only a couple more months I'm going to even be online because it's not going to be safe. I'm really thinking in terms that are like pretty absolute. I don't want to be tracked. So I'm not going to be tracked by these. I don't want to be enslaved by this system, which is their technology. That's how I see it. I mean, we want to stay in touch, but they're going to pull the plug. Did you know? I didn't know this.
What are you doing?
I'm getting myself some coffee. I'll meet out.
Okay. No, carry on.
When we in the United States, I don't know if you've heard about it. I don't know if you're here getting it in your media. But there's been over 100, maybe 165 substations that have been attacked in the last month or so.
Okay, yeah.
And people don't. First of all, they don't understand how many really, because not all of them are reported about. There's never any camera footage, which makes no sense because these things should be a lot of security around them. But the main thing that I did not know, and maybe you know because you're a very intelligent person, is that if they hit enough of them, they can take the entire grid down. And that is what they want to do. They've been wanting to do this for many years. We've all known about it. I'm sure you know about it over there.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So did you know that they all they have to do is hit just a certain amount and all of it goes down. That is what they're trying to do. It is, oh my God, Richard, it's really mind-boggling how
Yeah.
how it's coming down. And it's like I've said, and you said too, in your way, but I say it my way, is that once the shit starts really hitting the fan, it's gonna devolve really fucking fast because they're gonna have to start moving really quick to start squashing any kind of rebellions that might pop up, you know?
Oh, absolutely.
It's
Yeah.
gonna get really weird. People
I
don't
think
even understand how weird it's gonna get.
I think that's what the old Gee Whiz is for. Part of that. Yeah, it's that grid, that radiation grid or radio wave grid. I think that's part of the. It's part of the control to keep people at bay. Heat
Oh,
weapons,
yes.
frequency weapons.
Of course, it's going to keep you trapped.
So
You won't be able to go. But I have to stop, and I have to make a special. Help me say it with a good Scottish accent. A special welcome to Anna. She's from Glasgow. She's from Glasgow.
Anna,
Did you know?
no, I didn't.
Yeah, she's from where my grandma was born.
That's my wee plan. Okay, oh, I got that. Yeah.
Isn't that sweet? Whenever I come across a Scot, but certainly one from Glasgow, and she's got family in the Highlands. She still lives in the Highlands. I just have to give a special welcome, and also to Bass because it's first time here. But I'm just going to ask, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, Richard. Inverness is where my family was, near Loch Ness, and there are actual castles two castles that I found, but they're both bombed out. They destroyed them. So my family, they particularly did not like. They didn't even want to save the castle and use it for themselves, you know. Destroyed it. But anyway, back to the convo. You were talking about the grid. You were talking about basically the electronic leashes, or not the electronic leashes, but the silent weapons for silent wars, and fencing that is invisible, but it is a fence, and you will not be able to go past it. And everyone will be trapped in those cities. You will not be able to go outside of it. That's what's coming, and people just can't wrap their heads around it. But it is. That's what they plan.
Yeah.
That's what they plan. Why do people think they're not going to do it? If Noah Harari tells you the idea that you're going to have an independent soul and free will is over, if they don't mean it, why would they say it? Come on. These people are serious. They're done. They're in end stages. They're going to bring it big soon. And I see it like shock and awe. Shock and awe. They're going to do the shock and awe shit. That's what they did before. That's what they're going to do. It won't look that way, but maybe, but it will be shock and awe. It will be that magnitude. It will come at you like it hit Iraq. They didn't know it was coming. Boom, 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 boom. That's why they called it shock and awe. Right? That's how they operate. The minute they think someone's going to be onto them, they're going to come in really fucking hard. Well, they know, because I think there's a turn. The tide is turning in terms of, I think more and more people actually are maybe not woken up, but they're looking around saying something's wrong here.
Too late.
I know, but
It
is too late. It is too late. So I don't know.
It's too late. Because 95% of the world's population still rely on mainstream. Really?
It's the young
Simple
people,
that.
these young people, this young people, anybody under, all people, but people, when we were in our 20s or whenever in our teens or even we had hope that we could create something for ourselves. But we were living in an illusion, but still we had this idea about the American dream, which is a load of crap. And we were all brainwashed pretty good too. And that's over. That is over. That is over. That's not a reality anymore. It's over. I talked to a guy yesterday who he's a coin dealer, and he in 2019 they opened a 4,500 square foot coin retail place because buying and selling of gold and silver is very, very hot. And because of COVID, he had to shut his business down. 40 people lost their jobs. I mean, that thing destroyed a lot of people's lives. And that's why when I talk about what they're doing to hardworking Americans, that they will throw everybody to the street and then you have a psycho laughing about it. It's not funny. It's not funny. Families are on this. This guy, must have had money. He moved to Hawaii. He goes, I just spend my days watching my grandson playing on the beach. That's what I'm doing now. And only one member of his family stays in the United States to keep the coin thing going, but they don't have a storefront. They do house stuff, door-to-door sale stuff. But he was really, really very nice to talk to, and he said about the gun thing that when I said, well, they want to take the guns, he goes, yeah, well, that's never going to happen. That's never going to happen. And this is what the people that have guns in the United States, that's their position. Things are going to get real ugly. They're not going to go down without a fight, these people. I promise you. It's very sad because it's going to be very devastating. There are people. Oh my God! Just a brief aside. This guy tells me he had a guy that was coming, and his employees would be out behind the building having a cigarette, and this guy would come and he would piss on the building right in front of him. And so then they were like, they tried to get him to go away, and they went to the front of the building to get away from him. Then he came to the front of the building and he did the same thing. And so the guy said, "You get out of here. I'm trespassing you. Get out of here and don't ever come back." And the guy lunged into his car, and so the shop owner shot into the trunk as a warning sign. The police took his gun. He was the victim, and it was 2 years later, still doesn't get his gun back. But the guy, the perpetrator, he had a gun in his vehicle that he was reaching for to assault and perhaps kill this other man. He didn't lose his gun. Does that make any sense to you? They want they want guns in the criminals' hands, but they don't want the citizenry to be able to protect itself. I mean, it's really weird. Okay, what was I going to show you? I think I forgot to share. I showed you Klaus. I can't hear you. So we showed Klaus. What was the other thing I was talking about showing?
Trump.
Okay, Trump. That's right. We were loading Trump up. So stop sharing this. I'm going to reshare just because sometimes it doesn't always do it. So nice to be talking to you. It's a wonderful way to start the new year. To be speaking with you. Okay, so here it is. Shall we go for it? 4 minutes.
Go on in.
Okay, and if you can't hear it, obviously let me know.
File the copyrights. So I'm sharing them on Patreon. This one, okay. Did it publish it?
So I read this the other day and I said, wow, that's really amazing.
If you want to see this,
and it's
$1 a month. That gives you access to all my Patreon videos.
Down the path along the lake,
Wait, you know what?
A tender-hearted woman saw a poor, half-frozen snake. Interesting. His pretty-colored skin had been all frosted with.
I've been loading this thing. It's still not loading. It loaded. This is weird.
With the dew.
Hold on, I have to let it load. We'll come back to it. That's all I can do. It's still loading. That's been happening a lot lately. It's a little suspect. because I wasn't having problems like this until last day or so. Did I lose you, hon? I can't hear you. I'm gonna
No,
mute.
I just muted out.
Oh, it
I'm just
started.
muted out.
So he keeps talking about his Patreon. So I don't know if he's actually going to show this. Is what I'm wondering. It's loading, so we will come back to it. It was we were at around 30 seconds. I'll just back it up a little bit. Maybe we can get it together. But I have a feeling he's not going to show it because he keeps saying it's on his Patreon. So we'll see.
$1 a month that gives you access
On
to
her
all my
way to
Patreon
work one
videos.
morning, down the path along the lake, a tender-hearted woman saw a poor, half-frozen snake. Interesting. His pretty colored skin had been all frosted with the dew. Oh, well, she cried.
Left eye.
I'll take you in, and I'll take care of you.
So, yeah, there you go.
He was showing the left eye anomaly where the pupil is like a slit. That's what he's showing. So we'll just look at it once. Let's slow it down so we can see it. Slower.
Okay. Colored skin.
I'm gonna lose the volume. See it? See how one pupil's all the way open and one pupil's a slit? That doesn't happen. They could come up with some medical explanation that's a fucking lie, but that doesn't happen. One pupil does not operate independently from the other. It's all light based, and one would not be receiving less light than another or take on a slit shape in a human. That's that.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of that out there. I mean, you can see Katy Perry's eyes doing it. I mean, it's freaky as hell.
Yeah.
It's
I got
really
I got a video of Justin Trudeau snake eyes.
You want to show it?
You can find it, yeah.
All right, let's go back to let me read the chat again. So I was saying that I'm just going to go back because I don't think I read all this. She said, though I speak in a fast, broad or broad Glaswegian accent, so probably won't be understood. America's funny. The richest men always become president. Genesis. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. If money fits Koenig, a sham, a lot of it. And I was telling her my grandma was born in Glasgow, and I love the accent. And that knew I recognized your spirit. Go on, your wee grand. She's so cute. True warrior clansman spirit soaring through us. Absolutely. I've still got family in the Highlands too. Love that part of Scotland. Oh, I want to go there. I want to move there. I mean that. I would like. I can't see anywhere else that I feel like I should be. You know, I got to now start looking into if I could actually do it. She said, that's my wee plan in the making, to get back up north and live. You can live in the scenery alone, even with the wind and rain. Oh, God, it's so beautiful. Yeah, you're definitely Scott Smanelvu. We all want to leave the realm from this bonny place. That's in my heart, my soul. Yeah. I porn bombed 2 of those drama channels. Sorry, I had to laugh at that. And they hit certain substations that can blow the lot of. That's right. I didn't know this. I just learned that 2 days ago. It's amazing. That's why I say we still need to be out there researching and learning all that we can, because this is how we can understand what's coming and how to prepare on some level. That's what I think. But not to be afraid of it. But you got to have your mind in, okay, we know this is what they want to do. So make arrangements to the extent that one can, you know. That was great. Oh, to be a Glasgow lass. Inverness, Elgin is where my nieces stunningly beautiful city. The wee towns are so picturesque. Most around are already acting, most around are acting soulless. They get angry just speaking the obvious to them. My autocorrect, don't worry about it. Yes, and I was talking, so I had a conversation with my case manager in the mental health clinic yesterday, and we were talking about that. We were talking about how people are becoming so hostile, and I do think it's the gee whiz that's going to ramp that up, as we know with the Crimson Mist stuff that we looked at. But what was I saying about the? I was talking to some. Oh yeah. Just that she. Well, anyway, she gave me like such a great bill of health, basically, because she said that I sound completely different from the beginning, and she actually said I should apply for a job to work there. So if I was so crazy that I need to be locked up, you think that they would be telling me I should apply for a job? So, you know, again, it's just another testament to my character that even the people that treat people that are crazy, she says she doesn't think I'm crazy. So, and I told her about the Great Reset. I told her about all this stuff. And she's like, I know, I hear you. I believe what you're saying is true. I know you're right. I know. So that was great. But most likely has taken the vacation because anyone working in medical field was forced to do so at the risk of losing their jobs, which is completely illegal. It's medical tyranny. There's a lot wrong with a lot of legal stuff. I agree. The change I've seen in peeps who gee whiz is off the chart. Yeah, and I think if you combine the gee whiz with the vacation, it's I mean, like I keep saying, they keep warning about a zombie apocalypse. The CDC was hiring for the zombie apocalypse. They've taken it down, but in the Wayback Machine, you can still find it. Them hiring for the zombie apocalypse. They took it down. So the question would be, I ask everyone, but no one's answered. Who do you think are going to be the zombies? Who do you think that are the zombies? If that's going to be a thing, what would you guess?
Well, what's the definition of zombie?
Well, I'll just tell you what I think. It's the vacationed. It's the vacationed that will be zombified, is what I think. But that's just my hunch. Because there are people that are not. I mean, if you look at that movie, The Cell, not everyone is turning into that shit when they get zapped through their cell phones. So that is a lot of what would you call it? Hide in plain sight kind of predictive programming or whatever. Or they're just telling you something because they say that they always tell us what they're going to do. That they're actually mandated by their own religion that they have to tell you what they're going to do to you to clear their own karma. So as long as they tell you their karma's clean, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what they're doing. As long as they say it, that's all that matters. If we do nothing, then that's our karma. We did nothing. That's how they feel. The people that run the world, I guess. That's how they generally feel about it. Lots of people gone around my area, but it's like the others aren't noticing or act like they don't remember who I'm talking about that's passed on. Wow. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you're not quoting the WHO or the CDC, you can't really say anything about numbers or anything because that you will get struck for misinformation on this heavily censored platform. So I wanted to show the David Icke. Oh, look, I have something I want to show you. I started to show you. I forgot to show you. So this site, Anonymous. It's called Anonymous Official. And hold on. I have to get to it. Oh, it's not in here. Oh, I think it's a big enough channel. They have 3 million. Anonymous Official. Let's see if it comes up. There it is. Oh, I'm not subscribed to it on this channel. Now I am. Okay. So this is it. Look at this. Okay. It's David Icke mainly, but read what this says. Are you reading it? You may be muted.
Yeah, I'm muted. What am I reading?
Right here where the David Icke is now, I move my mouse.
Yeah, I watched that.
What it's saying right on your on the screen.
Yeah.
It says we won't survive 2023. That's
Yeah,
what it says.
I watched that earlier on.
Yeah, and he says what I was talking about last night, that he exactly articulates the digital currency and crypto as I have been saying for quite some time. So it was nice to hear somebody actually confirm it the same exactly as I had seen that. I'm not saying I'm some great genius, but I have been saying that for quite some time, and I haven't heard anyone else articulate it quite in that fashion. So I thought that was kind of cool. This is definitely worth seeing. Now, the next one I want to look at is this. It says we only have 8 days. Did you watch this yet? And I don't know, should we just try to, I'm afraid to play anything off this channel because they have over 3 million subs. They've been on here since 2012, 98,000 views on a video from 2 days ago. They may be controlled opposition. They are allowed to put this information out. I don't know if I go to do it, that what could happen, and that's my concern about playing it. What do you think? Should we just do it? I don't want to.
Well, anonymous official use a lot of other people's content.
Okay.
And
well,
I think they're in line with Jason A channel as well. I think the two of them are together.
So if this stuff is on YouTube on another channel, then I might be more likely to think it would be okay, because if YouTube were to strike it, I'll just go back and say, here's the links. It's on your platform. So if you're not striking them, why are you striking me? So I could take that approach if something should happen.
They won't listen to that. They won't listen to that, boo.
I know they don't listen to shit.
They'll just that'll get 10 seconds of all right, and then we'll throw it in the bin. I would just say, listen. Well, I mean, for one thing, it would expose that channel, but I'm dubious about, because they've sort of leapt on this UFO alien agenda, and a lot of people, actually, I've been following, and Jason A did exactly the same. They were leaping on this alien agenda and the UFO agenda when that first was declassified. And a lot of people in Jason A's channel, and he was, I mean, going back a few years, he was pretty much all about scripture, combining it with real world events. But all of a sudden, they sort of changed and leapt on this UFO alien declassification agenda, which has only been pretty much recent. And then people, this was Jason A. They were, oh, what are you doing? You're turncoat. You're flip flopping, and they were calling out actually Jason A as being influential and control opposition.
Yeah.
But the two, anonymous official and Jason A, I think, are pretty much linked.
Yeah, that's why I think I'm right about not playing it. I think it's a setup. You share it, you're going to possibly.
I would say, I mean, I don't play videos just because the sound quality is crap, and videos on when I live stream other people's videos, they just jump around.
Oh, really?
That's the only reason I don't play other people's videos. I don't even play music anymore, really, just because of that, because of the sound quality. But I would say that anonymous, traditionally, there are two ways to look at it: controlled opposition, or actually for the people. Now, if they're for the people, they would just say, right, this information needs to get out there, just share it. And it might even actually say in the description, share this far and wide.
It does. It does say share.
Well, share it far and wide then. That is it actually says it there. So there's no copyright because they want it shared far and wide, that information.
Yeah, but no, what I'm saying is if YouTube decides that they're allowed to say it, but not everybody else is allowed to put it.
Well, only if the material has been copyrighted, because none of my stuff is copywritten.
No, they will strike you for misinformation, and it doesn't have to be copywritten information. they can do
Well, it
that.
depends what you're going to show. Obviously, I mean, to me, it looks like the. In fact, I watched that one as well.
Should we watch it? Is it worth? Is
It's
it
about, I
worth
think it's
to watch?
just about money,
Like
really,
the
and
digital
how.
currency.
Well, it's just how I think it's how. Is that one with David Icke as well? Is it?
No, but this one is saying we only have 6 days or 5 days left to do something.
Yeah. So you know, that could be one of a number of things, really. January the 8th, 18223, 18223, January the 8th.
Is that when they're pushing the digital currency?
I don't know. I'm just trying to work out. We only have 8 days. That'd be January the 8th, or from that 4 days ago, January the 4th. That then.
Yes, we only have 5 days left now.
Or 4.
Should we watch it?
Well, yeah, it's up to you. But
we'll see. If it's too jumpy and the audio's not good, we'll stop it. But let's give it a try. But first, I have to let it load a little bit before we can do anything. So we'll have to wait a moment for that to go.
But the biggest weapon for control of people's choices is money. The old gee whiz and chemtrails and fluoride in the water and all that. Okay, forget fluoride in the water. Chemtrails and gee whiz, we got no choice over that. That is there. It's all in place. I heard somewhere that they're going to put another 800,000 gee whiz towers up in America. Okay, they've already got like 300,000 or something up already. They're trust me, everything is in place. Everything is in place. They ain't going to be, if they're putting up more cell towers, well, I really don't reckon they need it. Honestly. I reckon everything's in place. And everything, even the plan, like I mentioned on London Man's channel, if you want to build a house, you don't just, if I want to build a house tomorrow, I don't rock up tomorrow on a building site and start digging foundations and then go out and buy all my bricks or stone and then, arrange a plumber. No, I'm going to go back 2 years and say, right, I'm going to build a house. I want it built tomorrow, 2 years ago. I want it built on this date. So I get an architect to design it. I then sort out my workforce. I then sort out my materials. So I can rock up tomorrow and everything has been delivered to site. So I can spend a couple of weeks building a house. That's how to plan a house build. Now, what they're actually building now is a house of Satan, really, Temple of Satan. Just to call it a construction. Everything's in place. They've been planning this for this kind of modernistic. When we're dealing with technology, out this world technology, like your gee whiz, radio waves, and which is like 100 years old now, isn't it? Your radio. So they've been planning this for a certain date. This is the date we're going to rock up and start building this house. You don't get bricklayers on site until you've dug the foundations. You get ground workers to come in, dig the foundations, pour the foundations. The ground workers go away, and then the bricklayers move in and start building the house. And you don't get the roof assemblers on site while the bricklayers are there. You wait until the walls are built, otherwise you ain't got nothing to put the roof on. It's just a schedule, and I think this year is their year where all these little plans and arrangements they've made are now in place, because they haven't. If they let it go another year without nothing to suppress the movement of people, they ain't. There's a date, and I think the date is 2023. I think the date is 2023. 2024, 2025 is like a red herring. 2030, Agenda 2030, that ain't for us. if they're successful with this digitalization of the human body, I think that is for anybody that survives, really. But I don't think anybody's going to survive and know about it, really. But this is, this plan has been going for 100 years with modern technology, with radio. I think it was something like 1916 or around about that time, because it coincided with the old Spanish flu of 2018. The advent of radio broadcast worldwide coincided with that Spanish flu, 2018, 1918. Sorry, but this has been a plan in the making for 100 years. Just advancing the technology from radio waves, realizing that you can send a signal across the world from England to America, and then work out what is the objective. Well, the objective is to own and control the world and control the people. Now everything's in place: the food, the water, the air, the oxygen, the environment, weather, and now people. And they will do that firstly with by using money, getting people into the digital realm, and then boom, just saying, like they did with televisions. Analog, if you've got an old black and white massive box analog television, you won't be able to use that after a certain date. And they did. They just switched off the analog and switched on the digital. They can do it, and that's what they will do. They will switch off the money system somehow, just withdraw it, just say, right, money is obsolete. Now everything is digital, because most people use money, use digital currency already. All it is transferring numbers from one account to another account. So, but I think this year they'll do it, and they can shut the banks down and access to actual real money, cash, just by having a blackout that lasts, as long as they want. And then they've shut down all communications. They've shut down access to everything. Travel, stores won't be open. They can leave people desolate for, who knows? They might kick it off at midnight tonight. So, right, here we go. Let's do it now. 2023.
Okay, we have to talk about that video he was showing of that guy that claims that he was basically, it sounds like he was drugged and experimented on with some time travel technology, and then he's allegedly in year 2027, and he's going around and no one is there. That is, wow, that's crazy. I want to find the original site of that.
It was the channel was, oh gosh, I remember it now. What's the name of his channel? I can't remember.
Well, the original guy filming, his name is Javier, and I kept on trying to write down the name of his site. But if London leaves that up, I can go back, because there was on the bottom of the screen, his name was on there, so I should be able to look it up somehow. I'll try to find it, but I want to look at that further and analyze that. That really, that gives my stomach a flip-flop. Like, there's definitely something going on there that's beyond our understanding, and I don't think that is being faked. I don't.
Yeah. I did watch it when it first came out on that channel. And
when did it come out? How long ago? Do you know?
I think it was 2021. I think.
I can't believe I have never heard about that.
Yeah.
It blows my mind.
And it's just really eerie. It
is eerie.
Just the fact there are no birds on it. Of all the places, no pigeons in the streets. Just no life. There was no life.
That's right.
So, it's a bafflement, but it's not something I'm going to dwell on, because, at the end, at some point in time, that's what life will be like. There won't be anything.
Well,
There
that's
won't be
what they
people
keep.
in the streets.
Yeah, they foreshadow that, like in those movies where everybody's gone. I don't know if that Will Smith Legend, maybe is that the movie where he's the only person left on the earth or something, and I don't know. And then or other things where how when there's no
What you
one.
on about?
There's a movie they did where,
Oh, Will Smith one.
yeah, he was the
But
only.
no, because there were animals in that. He had a pet dog. There
Yeah,
were
yeah. Oh, I know
lions and antelope.
it's not the same, but I'm saying it's a similar idea that there's no everybody's gone, or you'll
I
see
love this.
cities that have been covered have now been overgrown with the forest, just like those ancient palaces hidden in the jungles in South America or wherever. That eventually the nature takes everything back, and so they've shown films where that's going on. So they are foreshadowing the idea that there will be no one, basically.
Here's something then. Here's something. In that video, when the guy was actually driving down the road, he was driving down a really long road. Did you notice that the street lights were on?
No, because I was just tripping on the whole thing. I
Yeah,
was.
the street lights, the LED street lights were actually on.
What do you think that means? What does that mean? To you?
Well, it means the LED street lights, as well we know, are an integral part of this matrix of control system.
Mhm.
But the LED street lights, I've done a video. I actually did a live stream with David Yates came on it, and I think Rob came on it. But it was with Mark Steele. Now, Mark Steele is pretty much world renowned for exposing things like LED street lights, weaponry. But he was on this live stream I did, but he kind of rambled off, introducing things like medications and about how they're going to control you with this and the toxicity of certain things. So I ended up getting a strike that got taken down, that whole video. But the only reason he come on, really, I wanted him on was because we were talking about LED streetlights. And I've got a copy. I managed to rip a copy off of before it was got strikes. I knew it was going to get a strike as soon as he started talking about medications. I knew because David Yates was on there. I think Dave Holly was on there as well. Rob might have been on there, but it was like I looked at David and David looked at me and it was like, oh dear, that's a strike, just because he was what he was talking about. But LED streetlights are a part of that grid system. Every single streetlight has got a number, an individual number, like an address, its own unique number. Every single one has got a unique number. And formed in a grid. Streets are in grids. They've got 15-minute cities coming in now as a concept. So at some point within this year, they're going to switch on something that's going to stop people traveling. Sky travel, train travel, bus travel will be a thing of the past. We ain't going to be permitted to travel anywhere.
Everybody will be locked into their zones.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
And even in that film, In Time with Justin Timberlake, if you haven't watched it yet, watch it. I'll get a link to it in a minute and I'll sling it in the chat. But if you haven't watched it, even there, they live in zones. They got the poor zone. People that haven't got any time on their time clock. Time is a currency. So people that are living day to day, they got 24 hours left to live. They got to go out and try and earn more time. So, but even in that system, they put all these really poor people in one zone, and to get out of that zone, you got to pay with time, and you're talking about you got to pay in years to get out of that zone. So you need a lot to be wealthy. That basically means you've got a lot of time on your hand, funny enough, or on your arm. You've got a lot of time. There are people there with like 1,000 days, 1,000 years. I got 1,000 years. Like Bill Gates would have, if it was possible to exchange money, currency, money for time, I would be dead because I ain't got any money. Probably got enough money for about another hour. I got I've got an hour and 20 minutes on my life clock. Bill Gates would have, 1,000 years, I guess, and everybody, all these others that are lying, your Klaus Schwabs and your, your princes and princesses and royals, and they would have all the time in the world. However, in that film, there's something called, I think he's called like he's like a tax collector or something. He's sort of like like a police, like a detective, and he goes around sort of policing really the money system, the currency system, which is time. Even he, and this sort of aligns with people like your pop stars and your rock stars. They are pretty much puppets. They're there because they want that fame and glory and money and lifestyle. But even this tax collector was restricted to an hour, not an hour, like a day or a couple of days, because what they didn't want was some person. They still needed that person to be subservient to them. So, like, if you had a butler or a dishwasher, or somebody that come in and did the hoovering, you only give them a day wages or 2 days wages, so you know they're going to turn up for work the next day. But those at the helm are the ones with all the money, and eventually time will be the currency. That's how they'll work it out. Time will be the currency, and they can switch you off when your time runs out, when you're of zero value to the system. They will just switch you off.
Right, that's what they want to be able to do, switch you off.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
We were talking about the incandescent bulbs versus the LEDs, and so just to cover the chat a little bit, because we have I know Anne is a woman. Is Lapis a woman as well? So that
Lapis blue.
I dress properly. I think so. I don't know. I think I got these ones, but I'll get to the ones I want to read. Anna said, they just forced a contactless bank card on me, still withdraw my money from the machine to annoy them. Yes, and they want to take the machines away too. And they're saying, do everything in cash, that's how you can protest it right now, is what I've been being told to do. I was just saying, thanks for saying bye. Lapis is just straightening up their messy house while listening to different lives. Glad that they came. Welcome. I was telling them they're welcome up on the panel anytime. She's just saying, love it. I do similar. Never one thing at a time. Living life like a juggler. Sounds, yeah, I used to live like that before I became whatever. Think I enjoyed the busy feeling. Yeah, well, being busy can be good. But relaxing is important too. Hope you're having a good evening. I think it's evening. I don't know what country are you in, but don't give any truly identifying markers, I would say. Sitting, relaxing 5 p.m.ish before I get ready to bring in the bells with my family after. Very nice. I hope you have a beautiful time with your family. Sounds perfect. Anyone who wants to join the combo that's not about drama is welcome on down or up. They have also blanketed the buildings on inside with LED lights here. Hate them. They annoy my eyes. And then she said serial code, and I don't know what she was referring to. I said they create the LEDs create premature blindness.
Yeah, the LED lights actually damage the retina. Mm-hmm. It's scientifically proven. I did a video LED. It was a video before I went live with Mark Steele. So I pretty much collated together all my what I'd learned, and it was from a video that was like, I've done a massing from about 2 years prior. It was something like that, and I was walking up the street at about 2 o'clock in the morning. The LED lights were on, but the birds were out singing, and it just sort of led me down this trail of like fucking around with the daylight night daylight nightlight system that birds pretty much live by.
Yep.
But yeah, there were all these blackbirds tweeting around, and it was just going into these things. I've featured a Mark Steele video where he opened up an LED streetlight that did have military weaponry in it. So, but LED streetlights, don't look at them. Don't look at them. Don't look at them. Wear sunglasses.
Yes,
Just
at
don't-
night you need those yellow glasses for driving, because also the headlamps on all vehicles have those terrible lights as well.
There is that, yeah. There needs to be a specific prescription type of glasses. And I did ask him. I did ask Mark what he used, and he did tell me on that live stream. And I might upload it to BitChute. It's quite a long one. It was a really poor quality, but he did, because I asked him, because a lot of people say, oh, he's always got glasses on. He must be, Secret Service or not. No, he's protecting his eyes, even indoors under fluorescent light. That has a flicker rate. These things have a flicker rate.
Yeah.
Like the television has a flicker rate. And I was on about this today with my Jehovah's Witness friends, it called around. And on about television and how it is hypnotic, how it's been changed. So I was sort of talking a lot of real world stuff to these Jehovah's Witnesses. It didn't have televisions. They don't know what the agenda is, and I'm trying to warn people about what's coming. And I even said to them, Revelation 13:16. He also forced everyone, small and great, rich and poor, friends, to receive a mark in their right hand, so no man could buy or sell. And they still didn't make a connection, be it right or wrong, between that and a digital currency and the amalgamation of iron and clay, which is biblical, and the fourth industrial revolution. It was like they were not. Is it be of this world, not in it, or be in this world, be of this world, not in it? Let me double check that, because I said it. I got it back to front. Of this world,
Be in this, not of this world. Be in this world, but not of it. Is what I believe.
Yeah, I'll get it up a minute, so I can get the whole. Be of this world. The exact one. And I was actually corrected, because I got it back to front. I can't. Where are you? Be of this world. What did you say it was?
I think it's be in this world, but not of it. We are not of this world, but in it. I don't know. I'm not really remembering.
Yeah, I can't find it.
Really?
But anyway, it was like they pretty much come out of this world by not engaging with any news media, anything like that. They were 100% scripturally based, which I think is wow. I think, yeah, wow. But if you're living in ignorance, and when they come along and say, listen, have this chip in your hand, and I was even explaining to them about frequencies, different frequencies, the concept of crimson mist, that if you get something inside you, or even the gee whiz, can alter our thought. So, that wasn't so much a battle, really. But when you're trying to warn people of what might be to come, and I just look at them and I think, oh, okay, you're pretty much 100% grounded in Christ Jesus, and obviously He's going to be the guide, really. So I sort of, I just sort of rest and say, right, okay, so you're in good hands. But I cannot not notice what's going on in this world. Really,
Okay,
you know,
I
you
got
can't turn your
something.
back on it, can you? You can't say, "Oh, well, I know this. I'm gonna, I'll just ignore it. I know the dangers of gee whiz, but I'm just going to ignore it." No,
Yeah,
I
you
know
can.
that digital currency is coming, and the in-body technology. I know all that's coming. But I think these guys were pretty much rested on. They thought they were doing exactly the right thing, which would be not. Oh, I wish I could get that. Be of this. Be. Let me change that.
I have it up. Do not love the world or anything in the world. If anyone loves the world, love for the Father is not in them. John 2:15. In the world, but not of the world. Biblical meaning. Um, then, then they go into an explanation of the meaning of it here, which that's just one person's opinion. But that is
Yeah,
the quote. The quote is, um, "In the world, but not of the world."
yeah. Well, we've got no choice. And this guy Paul. It's Paul and what's his name, Ernie? Yeah, Paul and Ernie. They're in pretty much in their 70s. These guys. Um, I forgot what I was going to say now. In this world, not of it. Oh yeah, yeah, it was. Yeah, we got no choice but to be in this world. You know, the only way out of it is natural death or suicide, isn't it? But even then, natural death isn't a choice. But suicide is just to get out of it. So we're of this world. That's confusing. But not in it, which means we don't partake in the pursuits of this world, really, as Satan's realm. Avoid temptation. Just live a simple life without technology. I can't wait until they take my YouTube channel down and everything goes, because you know, then that's more time to spend in real life, don't you think? Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's why I didn't get all crazy when they shut my channels, because I'm like, I'm getting out of here anyways. You're not going to be able to survive if you stay connected like this, because that's how they track you. So it's all good because it gets you where you need to go. Resisting it's not. It lines up with what needs to happen, so it's not a big deal. Just let it go. You know what I mean? I like engaging with you and other people in other countries, and I love the conversations. That makes me sad that we won't be able to have that anymore. But this will be our ultimate demise, technology. So we have to get away from it. Is what I think. That's my feeling.
Yeah. So yeah, the shape of things to come. So it's 5:30 now. I was going to go live at 11. I did want to get a couple of videos made.
Are you going to be with? I have to go soon too. But are you going to be with Max tonight too?
I'm doing a live from 11-ish, might be half 11. I don't know yet. I might not even bother actually, because I'm pretty shattered. But Max is going live at 7 Eastern Standard, which is midnight here. So it wasn't really planned. If Max had gone live at 8, that would have been 1 o'clock here. So I could have got because I want to focus on the celebrations in London, if they have any, and sort of around the world really, just to see if they make any they give any signals, any stars in guns for this year. And if they're going to do it, it's going to be taking down the political structure that we've got at the moment, which is sovereign nations with their own government. I reckon that'll be, they'll move for the one world government this year. And then next Christmas will be the Antichristmas. This was the last Christmas. Next year will be one world religion, possibly. if I, if I had to make a prediction, if someone said, Richard, what do you reckon? That's what it would be, and that's probably what I'll talk about tonight. Is just get that out there, and I don't want to be too heavy about anything, just because I'm sort of in a realm of peace at the moment in my mind. Whatever they throw at us, we've got to deal with it. I know how to take out a G-Wiz tower. It's not difficult. Petrol and a match. Just don't light the match with your face up against what you squeeze the petrol into.
Yeah, but is there radioactive material in there?
What, in a cell tower?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I just think it's I don't know. I just think it's frequencies, isn't it? It's frequencies that can just. Is there radioactive material in a microwave?
I thought so, yeah.
There is there?
I thought, or radiation is created, yeah.
Oh, it's created, yeah, but that doesn't mean that it's actually in the microwave. What they're doing is agitating the airwaves, really, that penetrate and heat food from the inside out, which is what they'll do with the human body. This might be where the zombies might happen. Is they, like the Crimson Mist thing. Is they'll just use frequency and vibration and send people mad. People that are desperately hungry as well. Yeah. It's the water molecules in the food, is it? Feed. The water molecule, yeah, agitates that. So, and we are what, 80% water, something like that.
Okay, so but are you saying there's no radiation in the food then after it's radiated?
I don't know. You were the one that said there's radiation. I don't. It's radio waves. Radio, apparently radio, the word radio, like transistor radio, is short for radiation. But what is radiation? Really, I don't. To radiate now, what cell towers will do is radiate a certain frequency, a certain frequency, a certain radio frequency that will travel. It'll travel as far as it needs to until they get to the next cell tower. And this is the thing. It's the whole world must be surely by now covered in a grid. Yeah, but as far as radiation goes, like something that plutonium gives off, I don't know.
Okay, what it says is, and I can show you, is that microwave ovens do leak. They leak radiation. I read this many years ago. 85% of them are leaking radiation. So that is a fact. So that radiation is generated. Then the next thing would be, so if there's radiation present and it's generated, then is it in the food that you're ingesting? I mean, they've talked about that microwaving food is not good because it depletes all the nutrition out of it. But the thing is, they say if you're exposed to radiation, that it in high enough levels, I guess, then it's going to affect you. But certainly, if it's in food that you're eating, it would be a concern. I don't know.
Right, I had radiotherapy. Okay. Which is sort of like pinpoint laser beam medical procedure. Now, after a month of that, I was pretty much fried. I got images of my face and head that I would say, yeah, that is something that has been put in an oven, really, some sort of oven. So radiotherapy is, again, it's that it's got to be a certain frequency. They're not. I don't think they're firing radiation. They were firing radiation at me. Although I don't know. I think it was frequency and vibration because I actually video recorded twice two of my treatments, and on one of them, my camera, which might have been about 20 feet away from me on the side, at some point when it was going, when it's firing these radio waves at me, my camera was had like that, like fuzzy, those little dots. It wasn't a huge amount to notice really, but when I studied it, yeah, it was like that radio wave, whatever frequency it was set at, actually affected my camera, which was, I don't know, like I say, 20 feet, 30 feet away, 25 feet. So I've actually experienced that radiotherapy on my head. And the experience is not pleasant. Honestly, the experience is not pleasant. But I've been privy to the effects of a directed energy weapon like that. I smell ozone. I actually said, "Oh, there's this really strange smell," and they said, "Yeah, that's ozone." So they're altering the oxygen in my, I don't know, in my nostrils, really, if I can smell it. And also with my eyes shut, because you've got to have it. You can't move them. You can't move a micron. You've got to stay still as when they're dealing with pinpoint accuracy, particularly on the face, around the eyes. And with my eyes closed, I actually seen a blue light. It was like the iridescent blue light, like a dot going around my head as this machine was going around. So I've experienced firsthand the effects of radiotherapy on my head. And it's a scary prospect if that is what they're going to use out in the streets, honestly.
Yes, it is. It is. And
as soon as I recognize, because I recognize I've been sat in here twice now in the past 3 or 4 years, I've had my face is just blown up for no reason. But I actually put it down to my Wi-Fi. Now I haven't got my Wi-Fi on. I will switch my Wi-Fi off. But I put it down to some sort of agitation by my router, because I sort of fallen asleep with my head, I don't know, about 3 foot away from the router. And twice now I've woken up and my face is just blown up. And it's exactly the same symptoms as the symptoms I had when I was under radiotherapy, when I was having radiotherapy treatment. I'll recognize it when it happens. I'll recognize it when it happens. Just because I know what to look for.
What you're speaking of, I of course, it pains me that you went through that. And
no. That was that. I had to go through that to be a witness.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm a bit pissed off that I'm in the state I am now, and that I've gone. I pretty much ruined my life. But people that say, "Oh, I'm sorry you went through that," Richard. I say, listen, that is the will of God stuck me there. But it's like we're all witness to different things, and very few people actually witness the procedure that I witnessed. I know there are a lot of other people that have. There's another guy in my town that had exactly the same thing, same place, same treatment, same results. But this is one thing I noticed was the smell of ozone. Now it's sort of like a sweet smell. Okay, I think ozone is just 1O. Is it O1? Oxygen O1. Let me have a look. Whereas there's different forms of oxygen, aren't there? There's ozone, which is O something. But when you get a sense of smell that is like an unusual smell, I know what the smell of ozone is like. And as soon as I smell that, in the future, I will know that, right, we're under some sort of attack. So be conscious of smells, particularly sweet smells, and be conscious of, if you shut your eyes and you see lights going around you, you know that possibly that is being received by our brain and deciphered in a way I can't explain it, but like I say, I watched this blue light. It was a dot just go around my head, and it was. We're talking about pinpoint accuracy here, microns. Like I say, because they're dealing around my brain, around my eye. So it had to be. This is why I was locked in. I'll share the video one day of the procedure and how they lock you in and you can't move.
Well, my dad had the similar thing. My dad
Yeah,
had non-Hodgkin. He had a goose egg come out on his lymph node on his neck.
wow.
And so it was non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, mantle cell, very serious illness. And so the doctor said, well, my dad said, what do I do? And he said, well, we'll start with radiation because this isn't in the very early stages. And then, but what you have to understand is that you're going to run through your options pretty quickly. So we'll do radiation, and then we'll go to the chemo, and then we'll go to stem cell. But the radiation was quite effective, and for a couple of years. But then it came back,
Yeah.
and I believe the chemo killed him.
Yeah, well, that's interesting, Anna. I've been wondering what the light flashes are on my peripheral vision when my eyes are shut. You know, it could be. Well, all I'm doing is giving my testimony of an experience with a directed energy weapon, which is radiotherapy, to try and remove cancer, and that and smell, to smell the senses, and also noise as well. Noise, certain frequencies will be audible to our hearing, which is why, like, I get a lot of tinnitus just come on out of nowhere. They switch something on every time I get like a tinnitus. I look at the clock and see, right, is that correlate with a certain time? You know, are they switching something on at 3 o'clock? You know, as a slow weapon of depletion for us. But I'm pretty 100% sure, really, that is what's going to be a major control, is the old gee whiz radiotherapy.
Oh yeah, agreed. Okay, now you need to prepare for whatever you're doing. You said you have videos to make, so I need to know: you're not sure if you're going to go live yet? And then
I'm not 100% sure, because there's one video I'd like to get out. There's two I would like to get out, but there's one I'd want to get out before 2023, and it's that one with the date 2016 that I mentioned. I mentioned it on London's channel about this Chuck Evan Brown trucker put up a video, and it was about exposing 2024 as a certain specific year in like an early 1800s Bible he had. Oh no, he didn't have it. It was somebody else's video, but he picked up on this. That prompted me to have a look in my old book, which is like might well be early to mid 1800s, and somebody had already penciled in a date in the chronology of the world. Okay, so 0 is the first entry, and then God created everything. Then it was 1, right up to 2016 minus 150 years. 2016, 1016. No, hold it. 2016, 1916, 1816, 17. It might have been something like 1740. I can have a look actually, but I won't bother. I'll put up, but that's a video I want to get up just because we're on the cusp now. Because the date in my Bible that somebody had already penciled in and worked out was 2016, which is when the fourth industrial revolution was announced to the world by Klaus Schwab, apparently. And I think I've done a video on it. I know that. But so 7 years on from, I got a thing about 7 years and tribulation, and I just wondered if tribulation began in 2016, because that might have been a time when they introduced this agenda. No, I don't. I'm not. Don't quote me on any of this because I'm not scripturally sound 100%. But it's sort of just a way of throwing out and getting a conversation going about tribulation from a biblical perspective, but also this date of 2016 in my Bible, and then 7 years onto that, which would bring us up to 2023. There's a lot that lead into this year, number wise, and even just following their agenda, really, and how they work, how they've operated over the last 3 years, how they've operated since, I think it was the 1980s, was it, that H.W. Bush said about one world government, a new world order. That was the 80s, I think. Oh, no, was that the 80s? Whenever he was president, anyway. 1,000 points of light and all that. 5,000 points of light. So, you know, just going back to that point in time, and then just sort of watching how the agenda has progressed, really, up until 3 years ago, when all of a sudden it was that click of the fingers, boom, here we go. And that was it, really, 3 years ago. But 2023, I reckon they got everything in place. They, you know, they shut the food down, they'll shut the water down, they'll shut the electricity down, they'll shut the internet down, they'll shut money down. He also forced everyone, and I'm not saying the digital chip is the mark of the beast. I'm not saying anything like that. I don't know what the mark of the beast is, but as I said to my two friends out there, because I did defend myself, I said exactly what I'm saying now is no, I'm not saying what is the mark of the beast and who the beast is. I'm just saying what we know is the beast system. That is part of it. It's about control, really. But yeah, just be aware of lights, strange lights when your eyes are shut, and smells, because that means something's happening in the atmosphere. And here's the thing that woke me up to chemtrails. It was 2000 I think it was 2015. I was sat in the back garden. I told this many a time, but I was sat in my back garden. All of a sudden, the sky went purple, like a bluey purple, and pink. And I tasted metal. Okay. So I ran indoors. I tasted metal. I was sat out in the back garden. And so I ran in and I managed to, I held my breath. I picked my camera up. I held my breath. I ran outside. I took 2 photographs of the sky and I ran back in with my breath held. And that was 2015 or 2016. That was my introduction to chemtrails and chemical manipulation of the sky.
Wait,
using
you
chemicals.
didn't know till 2015?
I hadn't experienced it until 2015. I hadn't experienced a change in my what I could actually witness.
Yeah, I think the last 2 years, whatever they're spraying is harder and harder on the lungs, and they're attacking the respiratory system. And a lot of people think that the George Floyd, I can't breathe, is some signaling about this the disease that was coming and how it was going to affect.
Yeah. Oh, and another thing is they've actually have changed. Now they've either changed, probably within the last maybe 2 years, they've changed either the constituents of the chemtrails, or they're actually agitating it in a specific way, using things like HAARP, agitating it in a certain way. So now, when the sky actually widens out with these really, really thin veils, I think maybe the last 2 or 3 years, maybe slightly longer, but the last 2 or 3 years, they've changed their approach to how they're dealing with chemtrails. Either it's a different, like I say, different. It's probably not different chemicals in it. It's just the way that they agitate the environment, the atmosphere. Yeah, that's but that, you know, 2015, I tasted it in the air. I tasted metal in the air, and I wasn't a chemtrailer before that. And then because my attention had been drawn to the sky, then I noticed chemtrails. That was 2016. That was in my neck of the woods, and I was really surprised. And oh no, I'll tell you what, I was shocked that I've seen video footage going back to 2008, 2007, 2006 of chemtrails. Mostly in America, but in this country too. Going back too far, I think the earliest I found might have been 2004. I've got it in my chemtrails playlist. But I think in this country it might have been 2004, and I was like, wow. You know, so they've been doing this for decades now. Well, going back to the 60s, sounding rockets. But they've got everything now. They've got their whole arsenal out. You know, they've got everything. I can't think of anything else that they need really, apart from compliance.
The ladies are writing something in the chat. I'm going to read, and I know you have to go soon. So I just need a time, like at a general, to look for you in like 3 to 4 hours. Is that what you're saying?
It's coming up to 6 o'clock now, so I might try. Well, I don't want to dwell too much on. I just like to get set up, see if I can find somewhere to watch the House of Parliament blow up, overlooked by the all-seeing eye of that big wheel they've got. You know that what they call it, wheel, big wheel. We used to call it the big wheel, but they call it the London Eye. And I think the London Eye actually looks out. Well, it looks out over London, but I think it might actually look out over the House of Parliament as well. And they use it. I think in the past they've made it into like a big Catherine wheel that goes around spraying all this, wasting all this money on fireworks. So I'm I'm hoping actually the House of Parliament get blown up.
God, careful.
I am, honestly. I'm just thinking, wow.
You are.
honestly, I'd be so disappointed if it doesn't.
Well, something we'll come to that at some point, I'm sure.
Yeah, but I reckon they're going to take out to bring in a one world government. They're going to need to. Well, possibly, it might make sense to just get rid of the seats of power in each individual nation.
Well, that would be ideal.
It's a fault. But I think Big Ben has got a major part to play in things because, but firstly, bear in mind that Greenwich is 0 when it comes to time. Okay, Greenwich Mean Time is like your 0, and everything else works off of that, either plus or minus. Did you know that? Greenwich is in London. Greenwich
Mean Time, which is interesting that mean, they use the word mean in there.
Well, mean can mean average.
Yeah, but it also could have another meaning. They like to
it can have a nasty meaning, or it can mean mean as being horrible, or it could be mean as having a meaning, having a definition. It's a multifaceted word, mean. But all that aside, GMT, Greenwich Mean Time, or Gin My Tonic, is 0 when it comes to the timeline. So somewhere on that timeline, I think is, you know, that will put Big Ben. That's probably the most well-known clock in the world, I reckon. As and actually, I think Big Ben actually featured in iPet Goat 2 as well, and I pulled that up about 3 or 4 years ago now, before all this shit kicked off. And it sort of featured in iPet Goat 2 as well. So at midnight, the time was on that. So I reckon.
Okay, wait. What was that in iPet Go to? Because I have to see my landlord shortly, and I was just thinking.
Yeah, no, it was just a representation of Big Ben.
Ah, I think I remember that. I'm gonna go watch it again.
Yeah, watch it. It's only like 8 minutes long, 7 minutes long. But yeah, Big Ben. Probably the financial capital of the world is London, the city of London, not London, but the city of London, a square mile. And then Westminster, which is where you got the Palace of Westminster, which is Parliament. I think that's right. Big Ben is Westminster was actually set up as on opposition to the City of London, and then they just all amalgamated. But it's the City of London, which was originally named by the Romans as Londinium. Londinium is actually 666 in one of the gematrias. All roads lead to Rome.
Yeah, and then that's a very good saying to also consider, because it's another hide in plain sight thing. A lot of people think that these people, the line is, Egyptian, Babylonian, Canaanite. Then after that, you have the Greeks, and then you have the Romans. And I believe these are the bloodlines. These are the bloodlines of the people in charge now. I believe that they've hidden a lot about ritualistic practices in ancient Greece and in Rome as well. I mean, we know how absolutely murderous and the words to describe the Romans. I mean,
yeah, but if you go pre-Roman, you go into the Phoenicians.
mm-hmm. Oh, I forgot to say the last conversation I was having with you. I was watching something about Jesus, the Bible, and all that. Oh, about giants.
Say that again.
I was watching something about giants, and they were saying the Pharisees were giants. Did you know that?
No.
That's what they're saying. Yeah. So they're saying giants existed all over the world. I don't know. The Great Flood didn't end them. I'll tell you that. I don't know how they could have been. People are like, well, how could they be housed underground? Well, there's caverns and stuff. Think about caverns that you can swim underwater, and then you come up, and there's air there, and so that exists all over the place. So, these things about the Nephilim and essentially that this is the return of the Nephilim taking control of the earth or whatever. That's a lot of speculation that I've been seeing, and wow, it's just so strange when you see how every ancient culture has pictographs, hieroglyphs, or whatever that speak about giants. And in all this ancient art, you can see the representation of what would be us being about maybe a quarter, even less than a quarter of the size of these things. So, in the Bible, doesn't it say they're going to release? There's demons or what chained somewhere, and everything's going to be let free. Or that's interesting. Yeah. I don't know what weapon's going to work on those guys, but
does it say in the Bible though that the Pharisees were giants?
I don't know why that person came up with that. I'm gonna have to do more research. It was just said that I heard it a couple days ago, and so I am going to be doing further research into that. I don't know. Yeah. They could have been, giants. Maybe not the 100 feet tall ones, but maybe 8 feet tall, maybe 7 feet tall. Even. I mean, they may have been descendants of those fallen angels. When the sons of men, what is it? The sons of men entered into the daughters of the sons of God entered into the daughters of man, or something like that. And they're talking about that these fallen angels, basically demons, were having sex with human women. It says it in the Bible.
Yeah.
Right? That's where they say that weird. That's where they came from. Those things, which, when you think about it, doesn't really make much sense, because I'm going to be a little funny here. So, vulgarity alert, profanity alert. and the ladies don't know me, but I have a very sarcastic sense of humor, or not sarcastic, but just a strange sense of humor. I always thought, you got to wonder what kind of a schlong these giants had. How the hell were they having sex with human women? Sorry. I mean, a giant's quite large. You'd have to factor. I don't see how that works. So to me, it's implanting the sperm at the end of it, and then of course, like the babies couldn't. So the way that these things would grow, they'd have to grow quite slow, or else a human couldn't carry that type of a being. So it's a strange thing too if you really go down the rabbit hole contemplating this whole idea that humans were having sex with human women were having sex with giants. I mean, it doesn't really. But giants, maybe a 7-foot tall man, Wilt Chamberlain, plenty of women my size were going out with him. So yeah, that's doable. I don't know. I'm just throwing some speculation out there.
Well, if you look at dwarves, apparently they've got normal sized penises.
Who?
Dwarves.
Dwarfs?
Or dwarfs, then, yeah.
Oh, you mean like little people? Like
Oompa
dwarves,
Loompas.
like fairies, like gnomes, and
No, I'm on about real people. I don't know what they call them now. People of restricted growth, something like
they're
that.
called small people.
Oh, are they small people? Are they?
We call them small people, I think.
They got normal sized bits. Apparently, I've never seen one, but apparently they got normal.
So you think a giant would have a normal sized bit, like?
Well, what would? Here's the thing. What would an angel need a penis for? Serious.
I know, but I like to laugh, so I got to take these moments because it's just absurd and it's funny. Say that again.
What would an angel, fallen or not, need a penis for?
For procreation.
Yeah, exactly.
But also they're horny little buggers as well, I've heard. You're not getting my humor today.
No. You're talking about God's angels here. They don't get horny. You don't get. I mean, what is horny is lustful. You don't get into heaven if you're lustful.
No, the ones that fell, they weren't observing to not being lustful. They came down.
They were thrown out of heaven, weren't they? Was it because they disobeyed God? But when they come to heaven, they saw the beauty of the woman. Is it that how it goes?
I guess. I mean, you know better than me.
And then that's down to lust, isn't it? Lust, which is one of the deadly sins. Funny enough, 7 of them. 7 deadly sins. I'm trying to think of a song. It might have been by the Traveling Wilburys. I can't even think of it off the top of my head now. They're dealing with deadly sins. But yeah, it's a lot of speculation we can do.
Oh, Book of Enoch tells stories of what happened with the giants, Anna said.
Yeah.
Well, if my neighbor small person is anything to go by, he likes his variety and gets more than most. So she has a little person that seems to do quite well with the ladies.
Yeah.
So, but I want to read what Anna wrote. If the powers that shouldn't be are thriving amongst this poison, it proves we all can't be made the same. How can their bodies handle it without illness? Rotten bees. Well, they are in special hyperbaric chambers and whatever they have, they have ways probably, or like you're saying, they're built differently. So these types of things don't affect them like it affects us. But I really want to show that Klaus picture of him dressed in that white, weird Bride of Frankenstein. I mean, this is the person that's telling you how it's going to be. You'll own nothing and you'll be happy. Okay? I'm going to be on the beach dressed like a girl. Find me over here. Bring me a drink. I mean, what the heck? kind of weirdo does that? Come on. I mean, I'm not into kink. I'm not like I never was into kink anyway, but that's just freaky, dude. That's just weird. Yeah, it's weird. I don't. Why would somebody? Well, I mean, I think who does that appeal to? Women or men? And the man, no kidding, he's like a pocket rocket. Wait, I missed something. See, Richard's like, you're reminding me of like when when Danny Diesel came on TIU's panel once. And and Danny just wanted to crack jokes. And T was not in the mood for it at all.
Yeah.
Kept on yelling at Danny to settle down. I'm like his father. I'm in that mood. I'm like in a very silly, childish mood right now. I feel like laughing, maybe want to blow off some steam of, we talk about stuff that is heavy. Hold on, give me one sec.
The small neighbor likes both genders. Were the small neighbor. How do you know he's a pocket rocket anyway? Is that from experience, Anna? I'm not casting any aspersions.
I just need 2 minutes and I'll be right back. I have to handle something. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Literally
No.
less than 2 minutes. Someone's coming over just to pick something up really quick. It's going to take just a couple minutes. Promise. Oh, she said the small person likes both genders. Well, that'll keep you busy, I guess. But I'm just waiting. I can talk to you until right before the person's going to be at my door. I see him bringing his sweets home a lot. Yeah, I want to read the Book of Enoch, actually. I've never read it. Oh yeah, I wanted to pull up that Klaus Schwab weird picture. I've been I keep calling him Carl by accident, which I find so hilarious. Carl Schwab. It's just weird. Oh, okay. Now I have to mute. Somebody's coming. I'll be right there. One sec.
Yeah. Okay. Well, all I can do is say, watch out. That's it, really. Prepare to meet your doom. Enoch's a good read, so is the Book of Jasher. Yeah. 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 6 o'clock. We've got 6 hours. Well, just under 6 hours now. Till the Houses of Parliament blow up. Ooh. Anybody got any predictions for this year? Small neighbor. Yes. The little people. Lapis, the weird dude takes offense at any way he's described unless it's to big him up. big him up. Yeah. Okay, then. Well, I think I'm gonna take a break now. I've got a wicked headache. I haven't stopped chatting for quite a few hours.
Okay, I'm here so that you don't have to be held up if you want to go.
I really didn't have anything in mind to talk about.
Oh, it's fine. So if you do plan to go live, if you can somehow, I don't always get my messages, leave a message. And then if you are able to drop the link, but don't, I want to get the link for Max's stream, but I don't want the trolls to grab it. So somehow we'll figure out.
Are you subscribed to Max? Are you?
No,
Not yet.
I wasn't able to find his channel.
If you go on my channel, go
Okay.
into subscriptions, and he's down there somewhere. He's in my subscriptions.
Okay. Well, now the trolls will find it, so I'll post it.
Well, Max can handle trolls, boo.
Okay.
Max
Okay,
doesn't take no shit, mate. Honestly, I'm telling you.
So bring trolls. Come on down.
Honestly, Max will. Honestly, he's got a specific way of dealing with trolls. Don't worry.
Well, then let's bring the trolls. Come on, trolls. So, but we're feeling good. I gotta say, even though the whole thing could go kaplooey or kaplooey, but still, I do believe that it was the best of times and the worst of times, and in the worst of times, we can still have reasons for being and reasons to show up, and be the best we can be in the moment we're in, and that's what I intend to do personally. I'm still gonna laugh. I'm still gonna have joy in my heart. I'm not gonna let these bastards take it away from me. That's my story. So you can go whenever you want. I'm gonna have like one ciggy, and then I'm gonna split too. But I was really grateful to these wonderful people that I still.
What are you doing?
Oh, I'm grabbing my accoutrements to go outside. Sorry, you want to know something very strange about this headset? When I'm walking and I'm talking to a friend, he cannot hear my voice. All he hears is the crunching of the ground under my feet. My voice is not there. Doesn't that seem strange? It doesn't pick up my voice, but it picks up the sound of my feet, and it's right near my mouth. I don't know. Cheap headsets may just be the thing. Maybe it's not a big conspiracy. Don't worry.
Yeah, trolls don't last long around our sparkling energy. That's it. It's
What did they say?
Anna's last comment.
I'll read it. I'll mute so you don't have to hear all the noise of me walking outside, and then they'll read the chat. I'll be right there.
I can't put links in because I'm not moderated. I don't think.
Oh, good, because we're on a brand new channel. You haven't been here yet, so that's why you're not wrenched yet. I'm gonna wrench you up.
Well, I actually turned up for one, but you had it on set. You can't comment for unless you've been a subscriber for 5 days. So
yeah, that's the problem. But then I take it off if somebody somehow sent me a message. I think it was Carrie that he couldn't do anything because he wasn't subbed long enough. So I can handle that by people tell me I can take that off. But I'm keeping it down to 1 minute as long as I have at least one person wrenched. Like I don't have to do that. I don't have to be too worried about that. Okay. I was gonna read chat. The Small Neighbor. Enoch's a good read. So is the Book of Jasher. Have you read that, Richard?
No.
Okay. Trying to be polite, Lapis. The wee dude takes offense at any way he's described and lets it too big him up. Well, I think you just got to call him big guy, but then that sounds sarcastic. He doesn't want to be seen or differentiated. I could understand that. I mean, that must be really tough.
Yeah. I just made a comment, but if you want to mod me and I can share my channel.
Okay.
Please. I'm the only one without a blue spanner. Wow.
I didn't have you in my chat yet that I thought you were. I haven't gotten the message has not come through on the YouTube side yet. I do not see your. I might have to take that. Wait, did you make a comment in the chat?
I'll do it again. I just made one. I shared a link to my channel, but links won't show up unless you're moderated.
No, you have to let me wrench you, then or give you the spanner, and then. Okay, now I can get you. Now I can get you. Let me refresh. Having a little delay. My connection. Connection's been weird. There's a lot of sky cover going on, and I do think the sky cover affects reception. I had a guy that's an IT specialist tell me that it does actually. Well, not that we're here for subs, but this channel has gained, I think, 17 subs in 2 days, something like that. Yeah, it's not bad. Get a little bit of the people back over, you know. That'll be good. I still don't have you in here. Why do I not see you in the chat? Let me take the subscriber mode off.
No, I've been.
No, there you
I've
are.
been-
There you are. There you are. There you are. I see you. I see you now. Ho
I've
hum.
made it.
Ho hum. How's your mom?
She's good. Oop.
All
Yeah,
right.
she's really good.
Well, we covered a lot
Thank
of
you.
broad topics. I think that whatever was going on in London's earlier, I mean, I came in very late in the game. But I have to tell you, I have never seen, and I haven't been able to get to as many of his shows as I'd like to, but never seen people fighting there.
No, he's got
Testing stuff out, and
he's got a special little group there.
Yeah, he does.
Really.
He does. He's so happy. I mean, I don't know if you knew him before he came over to me, but I didn't. I'm so
No,
happy
I didn't.
he found me. He came to us. Like God brought him to us, you know?
Well, if you go on that YouTube homepage, I showed you this. You click on live, it shows you all the live streams going.
Oh, that's right. I could do that.
Which is how I think Michael gets around. People like Michael.
Ew,
Michael.
have you had any sightings or harassment lately?
Say again?
Any more sightings or bullshit with that one?
I haven't really been about, to be honest, Boo. He
Yeah.
hasn't attacked me, but he can't because he's blocked. Apart from that, when he come on my live stream, ranting and raving like a loony.
Did I get to hear that? I heard the one on Michelle's when he was, "Get rid of that fucker." Oh my god.
No, I think Max was on then, and Max was sort of sat there dumbfounded that I'm letting a troll themselves. Really, I think Max was a bit.
I didn't hear the one on your show. I heard the one on her show. I never got the copy of that one to see.
Oh, Charles was. I just subscribed to Charles was from London's channel.
Oh, Charles was up on the panel with you.
He was up on the chat. Yeah, he's good for batting ideas around and things.
Very good.
You get some really when people delve into things like frequency and vibration and understand, well, not so much understand is open their minds to that concept of frequency and vibration. You know, it's sort of another. It's just sort of out of the mainstream topics, really, on YouTube. And when I say mainstream, I'm not talking about mainstream media. I'm talking about the mainstream of truth channels. But I mean, even people like David Yates are talking about frequency and vibration. They're talking about weather modification, weaponry, like your HARP and even 5G. So you're talking about frequency and vibration. And not a lot of people are dwelling on certain things, but perhaps not so much or so many people on frequency and vibration as the weapon. So it's pretty good to get over and get around a table with people that understand that concept and are willing to discuss it. Let me find Charles's channel. Charles was. I just subscribed to him, and I'll share that. Let's have a look. Charles was YouTube.
So I've subbed to Lapis Blue, and I'm subbing to Anna. So we can all, keep in touch. They don't have content yet, but they sound like they may move into doing that. So I'm already subbed and ready to go. Should they begin creating content, so that'll be good. You are welcome to drop your links, but again, be aware that there may be trolls watching that may arrive at your channel later. So I just let people know that, so there's no surprises. I think that people need to be warned about it, just so they know. So everybody, no, Bass came in. I want to sub to Bass too, which I think is pronounced Bat. Is it Bass or Baz? No, Baz. Bass. I'm not okay. Here's Bass. Okay, I may not be able to find him on the YouTube side because it's been a bit since a comment. Yeah, so I can't because it's gone. I try to sub to everybody that comes over. That's cool. That one I didn't get. So I think we're good for now. Later on, I think I'll probably see you at Max's. I probably won't go live again. I'm just tired, like I'm probably just gonna chill and just listen. I don't have. That's why I tried to come up on the panel on London's, but honestly, I really didn't have anything to add to that conversation. I mean, there were some things, but overall, it was like there will be other times I knew it was coming to the end that it just didn't work out, and so, but it was fine. Sometimes I like to just be supportive in the chat. I don't have to be on every channel, but that's where I'm going to leave it for now. I think I'm going to go take a bath and go back to bed for a couple hours. I wish everybody a great rest of their day and safe New Year's wherever you are. Be safe, and hopefully the Parliament will blow up tomorrow. I can say that because I'm not in your country.
Yeah. Well, here's one thing that has appeared in more than one film is the White House getting zapped.
Mm-hmm.
I think Independence Day, that was one.
Yeah. Well, they say in the 50s they claim there was an event where there were UFOs over the White House, and there was a whole thing that went on. But that could be all lies as well. That because this is what I heard. It was in a film. I'll have to find it. It's a guy, and he claims to channel an entity from another galaxy. Okay, so already we're starting with that. But I do think what he says is probably true. He said most of what you see in your skies is your own government that has reverse engineered stuff. It's not from outside of this world. That's what he said. So who knows? But when earlier, I don't know if it was on here or on his channel, Project Bluebeam is the project that they've had in the works for years, which is the fake alien invasion, and it is a real thing that they had on the book. That and the fake Jesus return, where they were going to holograph or however they do this. But so those are two things that they have planned that people need to be aware of. That I don't know how you handle it, but I don't know.
Well, last time I seen my mum, I said, right, if anything happens in 2023 that is extraordinary, don't fear it. I've told my mum that, and she ain't got really time for my whisperings about things. But
yeah, it's not into it, really.
There's certain, it's just protecting my mum from fear, from fear porn. So I have said to her, Mum, if there's an alien invasion, just know that it ain't real.
Okay, that's good.
And she's like, yeah, okay. But I've said, you don't really take my word for things. I mentioned about turmeric to her a few years ago. The health benefits of turmeric, and I've showed her loads of YouTube videos and you know, like about half a dozen YouTube videos. Here now, benefits of turmeric, mum. Have a look at this. And yeah, she watched them. She sit down and watched them, and then she wouldn't do anything about it. But she phoned me up. We had a chat on the phone one day, and she said, "Oh, Richard, have a guess what I've done?" And I said, "You've gone out and bought some turmeric, haven't you?" She said, "Yeah. How do you know that?" I said, "I just knew." But the reason she went out and bought it, because she works in a hospital. She's got a hospital colleague, and this woman is Polish, okay, and very grounded in like herbal remedies and things like that. But it wasn't until this woman had said, "Oh yeah, turmeric, health benefits of turmeric," yeah, that my mum actually took me seriously. And it's been the same with everything. It's like honey. We watched a video on honey, or two videos actually, Manuka honey, and because my mum bought me some Manuka honey. And there was another one. It's like a hallucinogenic honey from, oh gosh, somewhere in Asia, I think.
Where do you get that? How do you get that? Are you allowed to buy that?
I wouldn't imagine so. I can't remember where it is, but it's hallucinogenic honey. And we watched this really interesting video, and you know, things that I'm interested in, and things that my mum are interested in, that aren't, you know, like comedy or it's just like watching really. If my mum comes down here, everything's YouTube videos. But to get my mum to sit down and show an interest in certain things, just to give me some credibility about what I'm talking about, that's, you know, the best I can hope for, or probably the worst I can hope for, or the least I can hope for, is that my mum, when shit does hit the fan in a certain way, and it is manufactured by man and not, you know, aliens or anything like that, she will just think, well, Richard did warn me about that. And about the food as well. I've been buying me mum. I'm vegan, but whenever I'm speaking to my mum, generally it's when she finishes work and she's off rushing home, and then she'll generally say, "Well, I got to stop off and get some milk." So I bought her a load of dried milk to take out. So when she comes down, I've actually bought her dried long store milk, because I've warned her about food, and you know, I'm going back 2 years about the food. And all of a sudden, when it is apparent and obvious that, oh, Richard, you were right about the food, I think that seed I sowed 2 years ago, doesn't matter when it's sown, just leave it. And it will either germinate or it won't. But fortunately, a lot of seeds that I've sown with my mum, and my mum's pretty much blinkered to everything. She don't want to hear it, she don't want to see it, she's going along. She's doing her job still. But it's getting that no fear, just don't fear element. And then hopefully my mum will say, Richard, what can we do? And I'll say, listen, nothing. Pray to God. Just pray to God for salvation. And then, you know, but I don't think there's anything we can do to stop it, because it's going to take a lot of people. It's going to take a big percentage of the world population to bring down the system. And it's going to take people that aren't afraid to go out and do a bit of vandalism, if you get my drift, you know, but coordinated all at the same time. As soon as you hear those squeaky noises in your head, as soon as you start smelling an ozone smell, even though you might not know, you'll know that there's a new smell in town. You'll know that something's happening. They're agitating oxygen, doing something with the oxygen, turning it from oxygen to ozone. There's that. And then if you start seeing lights, you think, right, I know where that's coming from. That's that weapon over there. What am I going to do? Am I going to tolerate this? Or am I just going to go over and do my best to take it down? And if you've got access to the best thing I can think of is set fire to it. Really? And then at least the wiring's destroyed. And that gives people a bit more chance. but it's in next year is going to be really interesting, I think. But I think it's going to be quite a terrifying time to live through. Honestly, do. Even for the likes of me.
But we always have to go back to, the fear. What do they say? There's nothing to fear but fear itself.
Absolutely,
that fear. That's what they love. They
yeah.
love.
Oh, it's not fear. It's not fear. It's like it'll be like horror.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like
it
a
will be.
horror. It won't, even to say, right, if you're expecting something, there's still a shock when it happens. Like when the old thing kicked off, 2020, we knew something massive was coming because it was 2020. But it was still a shock what it was and how it actually worked. It worked to a T, pretty much. So there is an element of shock, but fear. There's got to be no fear. Particularly if you think I've had enough of this world. Take me out, please. And even if there's nothing after it, I'd rather not be alive than and never have existed than and go through this. This is torture.
Yeah.
So
that is true. Well, to the extent that we're here fulfilling a mission, and we'll be here until we're not. And it's not like holding on to this reality is a great idea, but we do what we can to serve God here until we're not meant to be here anymore. That's kind of how I see it. And for me, it's my animals that I worry about more. My young family members, than myself. I'm not attached because there's just so much suffering. I'm not attached to it. But I am here until God tells me it's time. That it's done for me. I'm not going to make that decision myself. I'm here for the long haul, basically. So
yeah, I just think it would be a shame to miss out on to witness what is going to happen, even if it's so very painful that I think, oh, I wish I hadn't have come this far. But it's got to be something that's got to be witnessed, really. Surely, it's the most in 2,000 years. It's the most wow. It's like the biggest story ever, really, of the last 2,000 years. So to witness the end of it, it's got to be worthwhile keeping going. But I think the eradication of the human being on this planet, on this earth, is a good thing. And then reboot, have a great reset, but not Klaus Schwab's great reset. Anyway.
Yeah, well, in that video which you watched too, David Icke says the great reset is the marker of the beginning of the Hunger Games society. That's what he said.
Hermit, Anna, I can understand it because I sometimes have a huge energy switch when I go out in public. I prefer being a hermit. This is what Laugh is. I just subscribed to your channel actually. This is the way I see going out in public, and I might mention this the other day. It was like wood chip wallpaper. If you know wood chip wallpaper, it's just a load of wood chip to make wallpaper. And if you're walking down a corridor, it's all you're walking by is wood chip, until occasionally you get one piece of wood chip that stands out, and you think, oh gosh, that's standing out. That. So you're walking down. This is the way I see walking down the high street. I've got a lot of wood chip when I'm walking down the high street, but I call it background. I just call it like background noise when I'm walking down the high street. It's just people that are like bog standard wood chip. They don't stand out, so they're pretty much just flowing along, going with the flow. But occasionally, there is a piece of that wood chip. There is a person that's just, from an energy point of view, actually stands out. So it's worthwhile getting in that energy of the outside world, really. rather than being a hermit. Just because of the negative energy. Now, is that a negative energy from the gee whiz, or is that a negative energy from people? Yeah. Tolerance towards the nastiness. Yeah. But yeah, that's about it really. I think I'm just talking nonsense now. But that's the way I look at people now. I'm walking down the street. There are some people, and because it's an energetic attraction, some people that are receptive to my energy, and I'm receptive to their energy. And there are some people you just think, yeah. There are some people that just are on a different wavelength. Let's put it that way.
I'm
Yeah,
sharing an image right now.
yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, Lordy.
Now,
Oh, Lordy.
that might explain a giant with a small penis.
That's a good one. I like how they put this pyramid thing over his head, and it's with the pentagram, the Star of David, which is
Yeah.
that's a devil thing. It's not Star. It's having to do with David. Is what I've heard. But anyway, yeah.
Is that a real picture, do you reckon, of Klaus?
Is this a real picture?
No, the one on the right. Is that really him?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
the sort of thing.
Seen him as the bride dressed up like this?
Oh, I've seen him. I've seen that picture. Yeah, it's in one of David Yates' books. He actually got that printed in one of his books.
Yeah, that's him.
That's
bizarre.
But I'm just wondering, is that like his head superimposed on a? I don't know.
It could be, but did you ever see the video of Angela Merkel dancing, getting down in a bathing suit, like dancing, like oh my God, it's one of the funniest things ever. Did you ever see it? You didn't see it.
No.
But no, it's not. This could be faked. This Klaus thing could be faked. I mean, I have no idea. You'd have to forensically look at that. But I want to see if I can find Angela Merkel dancing. It is fun. It is so funny. Dancing in a bathing suit, I think. Crazy. Funny. It's not coming out. So they may have scrubbed it. Yeah, it's not coming up. So yeah, they don't want you to see that, I guess. So there you go. More stuff scrubbed, and my battery's about to die. So I'm gonna bid you adieu at this point.
Adieu.
Adieu. And love you. Sending big hugs. And
might catch you later. I might just fall asleep now and think, fuck it.
Yeah, nap. Yeah, we're talking about filtering things, not being just being able to be a bit detached in order to maintain strength and focus. I think is
filtering is sifting out the gold, isn't it? Filtering out that which is good, worth that has value, and just leaving the rest. It's another form of filtering.
True.
Same as separating good from bad, weeds from wheat.
It's a daily work in progress for me. I still get caught out with some people, said Anna. Yeah. But especially if you're in a building like that where you're getting pelted with frequencies all the time, you are going to be less able to deal with those kind of hostile, strange people coming at you, because all this stuff is diminishing our capacity to function. So having to live That's why these smart cities are death traps, because it's going to be completely toxic. You won't be able to get out of there. I mean, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. It's not a life worth living. And that's why I always say, give me liberty or give me death, because without liberty, there is no life worth living. So that's what we're facing. That's just what it is. And who
Right, I'm gonna leave you in peace then.
you're gonna go, babe?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, we'll have
Okay.
a rest. Have a good rest.
Oh, I can't rest. Gosh, I got.
Oh, you have things to do. I thought you were going to. No, somebody else is going to take. Somebody else said they were going to take a nap besides me. Yes.
No, I could do it, but a nap, but
Anna said she's in total agreement with you, Richard. It's just a matter of when now.
absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
And living in those smart cities would be a nightmare for me. Me too. I can't live like that. I cannot live around that many people. I just can't.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, ultimately, what they're doing is they're redividing the world into zones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, in the United States, have you ever seen? My battery's gonna die. The zones. You can look up FEMA maps, and it
Yeah, I've
shows
seen that.
the rezoning of the United States.
Yeah,
What that's
and even in the film In Time, they've got zones. It's all about zones.
yeah, I think you were mentioning that earlier.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's you know, it's just a good movie to get an idea of what is to come to the digital currency.
Yeah.
How it is the ultimate control or coercion tool, money. Yeah. In the rain. God is in the rain. All right, then I'm gonna jolly off, Boo.
Okay.
Anna, Lapis, Blue, Boss, Baz. He was in earlier on, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Malibu. I might see you later on. I might just not. I mean, bringing in the new year ain't really a thing for me.
Yeah, me neither.
But like I say, I'm curious to see the Houses of Parliament blow up.
But if it does, you have nothing to do with it. Let's be clear.
Oh, absolutely not. I have nothing to do with it whatsoever. I
you
just
always
watch it.
want. You have to state that, because
That's my disclaimer. I got the idea off of V for Vendetta.
Okay. I tried to watch that last night, Richard, and
You did?
I couldn't find it. I couldn't find a free version, so I'm gonna have to pay for it, I guess.
Yeah, you might be able to watch it on if you've got Netflix or something like that. But I got the DVD because it's not available on you, and I don't think it's available free on the internet.
Maybe on BitChute. You can find stuff free on BitChute a lot.
There might be, yeah.
Okay, so thank you, Richard. Enjoy your evening from Lapis.
And you, Lapis.
I'd better be wandering hobo in the woods before they get us locked into their grid. Yeah, and we should, next time we get together, we'll look at, there's a woman in Wales, and they were allowed to go into the wilderness and create little structures, and she built this place, and it went through trial and error for quite some time with the weather and getting in, and this woman lives actually like a hermit in the middle of the woods in a structure she built. It's quite amazing.
Yeah, Wales is a tiny, tiny, tiny little place.
Is it?
Absolutely, yeah.
I think
North
that's
Wales.
cool that they were giving people. I wouldn't say they're allotments, like, because you got an allotment where you do your gardening, but if they allowed these people to actually, it's like almost like homesteading. That if you could build a structure that's not, going to be a danger to the area or whatever, that people could go out and do that. That's what she said anyway. You were allowed to do that.
Yeah.
I imagine they're going to obviously try to crack down on all that stuff. But
well,
anyway,
if you herd sheep, you can build a dwelling. You can build a shepherd dwelling. So there are ways around building. Like if you bought a woodland or you bought a field, you can build a property. You can build a building because you are a shepherd as part of your job, and you need to be with your sheep all the time. So there are ways around to navigate around laws, and you can eke out the planning laws over years and years and years and years and years. But what we're talking about laws, and we're at war. There's no laws or rules in war. It's about winning, you know. And they're not going to abide by any laws. Honestly, they're not going to abide by any laws that are there to protect us. They're not going to. They're obsolete. They can. I mean, even Prince Charles is on about changing the. Oh gosh, what is it? Oh, the Magna Carta, which is what common law was founded on.
Mm.
You know, he's going to come along and reinvent the Magna Carta, apparently, possibly, potentially, apparently, allegedly.
And the Magna
So-
Carta, for those who don't know, is
Is that a question?
yeah. For
Oh, it's a
people-
fun. I don't know when it was penned. I can't go down that. Yeah, that means me doing a bit of research.
Too much?
signing
Okay.
off.
All right, Nick, for another time. Let's do it another time. I'm gonna blow out of here now because I've got to go take care of some things. But thank you so much for coming on.
My
I
pleasure.
so enjoyed it. And I'm so happy that Baz and Lapis and Anna came to hang out with us. And I'm glad you found the channel, you're wrenched, or you have your spanner now, and we're ready to rock and roll. So everybody, have a great rest of your day. I hope to run into you later. But if not later, I'm sure tomorrow or very soon again.
Yeah. If it's
Okay.
after, if it's after midnight here, I'll probably be over with Max. So you find me on Max.
Okay.
Maybe in the chat. Maybe he'll invite me on for a natter.
I bet he will.
Well, he normally does. So, you know, I love Max, but Max Malone.
Yeah,
So
you get around. You're a hot ticket on panels. People really like you.
oh, do they?
Yeah,
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
It's very cool.
Yeah. It's just I guess it's just things we're interested in and sort of do a research on. You know, and just to have people together that have sort of focused their attention on a specific but all different. It's just like throwing things in a big pot and seeing what comes out, really. But fortunately, I haven't been on too many live streams where I've ended up having an argument with somebody.
Well, that's good.
And I think that the only once, I think, wasn't that long ago, and I just oiked myself out of it. It wasn't really an argument; it was just a clash of approaches. Let's say that.
Well, I've had a couple of times where I've come in like a bull in a china shop. I find it funny now, but and I've had people do it to me. I'll be on a panel and someone will get the link and they'll come on and they'll just start attacking me. it's one of the lovely things that happen here on YouTube. But
Yeah.
the
It's
bottom
not
line
even
is,
it's not even having an attack. It's having you know, if you've got two people or more gathered around a table having a chat, without the intention of coming on being, you know, spiteful or hateful or argumentative. It depends what how set in their ways people are as to how far they want to go to try and change another person's mind around to their way of thinking. You know, now when we get into talking about Jesus Christ and God and things like that, I don't like talking about it just because I don't want to go too deep into it, because all I'm dealing with is two things: that's the Bible and Jesus Christ. But I don't want to get into a discussion about whether I'm right or whether I'm wrong. It's nobody else's business. But what if I'm trying to just enlighten somebody in my own testimony, from my own testimony? I'm not going to keep badgering them and badgering them and badgering them until I say, okay, Richard, we agree, you're right. You know, it's just like sow that seed once and walk away. So I'm sort of not really into arguing my toss, because you either accept it or you don't. And I learned a long time ago, if you've got to work hard to convince somebody of something, you've got to work hard to keep that person convinced. That's another business thing that, you know, if like you're trying to sell something and you keep on and on and on and on and on, you've got to keep trying to keep them buying that thing, unless it speaks for itself. You know, just to keep hounding people to come around to an individual's way of thinking it's not really, you know, it does more harm than it does good. Because you know, we might be trying to enlighten the wrong person, like that bit of insignificant wood chip. Whereas what we should be focusing on is that bit of wood chip that stands out to our vision. Boom, look at that bit of wood chip, like that bit, look like a person over there looking over at me at the same time I looked at them and smiled. Boom. Rather than people looking down, people don't look up anymore because of the sky, they're scared of it. People just, you know, are looking down at their phones, or they're not looking around to interact with other people. But there's a lot of people that look around, I catch them, that want an interaction. Then there's a sense that there is more to this just walking up and down the street looking at the floor. And that is, I'll call it wood chip syndrome. You know, it's background noise. You know, it's like being in a pub, and it could be a busy pub. A lot of noise going on, a lot of people chatting, but it's background noise because you can't really focus on one conversation. But if somebody drops somebody drops a glass and it smashes, that just pretty much stands out. You think, oh, there's a beer glass there. Somebody just smashed a beer glass. It's one of those things like wood chip. It's not background noise. It's like a prominent noise, a prominent force. And that is the same with people. In my experience. But if you go out, you've got to align yourself, obviously, energy wise, to go out and do good and not to do evil. But you ask God, say, listen, this is what I want. This is all I ask God for. Please, I want to meet people and chat. And that's what happened. But I was introduced to people through a kind of like an unseen energy, really, that was, you know, it's like, look over here, Richard, and that person, look over here. And then, you know, a lot of my conversations just start by eye contact with certain people that fundamentally aren't far different from me, really. Maybe not in their understanding of the world and what's going on in the world, but in the foundation and fundamentals of love, that people that remember love your neighbor and, you know, all that sort of thing. It's really, really weird, but you've got to go out in it and look for it. Or not look for it, seek it. You don't have to look for it, seek it. Just seek it, seek that energy, because everything has got a specific, unique energy. Love has got that specific, unique energy to differentiate it from hate. So that's pretty much what I would suggest: is get out as much as possible in amongst people. And if you're in a crowd of people and the energy is bad, not neutral, just bad, you're in the wrong place. You know, just move along. But don't give up on finding like energies out there in the public. You know, that's all I'll say. But don't give up. Hermetism is dangerous, really. If it wasn't for the internet and a hermit would, you know, look at Michael. Look what hermetism has done to him. Turned him into a gibbering wreck. I love a bit of sarcasm. It's underrated for funniness. Yeah, sarcasm. Sarky. Yeah. Anyway, I'm just going to leave it like that. But this is what I would say. Interact with the human race as much as possible, because somewhere out there's other people that are exactly the same as us as individuals that are looking for a connection with another like energy. And that is real in my experience. Just do it. Background noise, 100, one in 100 people, 1 in 1,000 people, doesn't matter. If it's 1 in 1,000 people, that means you've got to walk by 1,000 people to find one person that you can have a really meaningful conversation with for 10 minutes, 20 minutes. I spent hours chatting with random people that I've just met. Yeah, there you go. Have you heard about the World Economic Forum? Yeah, I met a guy that's from up, where's he from? He's from way up north. He was down in Taunton for the day. He was waiting for his wife to come out of one of these fashion shops, like New Look or something like that. And he was still outside, and I caught his eye. He caught my eye. I said hello. He said hello back. We got into a conversation. How are you doing? And it was like it took his wife to come out, and even then we continued talking, me and this guy and me, for 10 or 15 minutes. And his wife was there, earwigging in. And then eventually she said, "Oh, we got to go." But that was like that's like a half an hour conversation with somebody I'd never ever met, that I didn't know existed until that point. Knew about certain things, most things that I was talking about, some things he didn't know about. But yeah, honestly, while we can still get out in the community, God, it really should be done. Because part of their agenda, probably the biggest part of their agenda, is to divide us and to shut down communication between individuals and people and groups. So when you know that, you've got to fight that. That's why you've got to fight that isolation. They're trying to get us into isolation. So when you know that, you've got to think, right, okay, am I going to wait until they actually isolate me before I think, oh, let me sneak outside and find some friends? Just do it.
Yeah, I agree. You got to forge those connections in real life too, because you got to have people that you can trust that can get your back.
Well, it's absolutely that, absolutely. And this stems back to love your neighbor. If I mean, I got a next door neighbor that side, I got a next door neighbor that side. I've got neighbors. I live in a cul-de-sac. I know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I know 6 of my neighbors out of, I think, about 14. But I know these on a level where I can have a conversation. Another one round the back, 7. And then where I can have a conversation, and the rest of them that I do see, I say hello to, and it's pleasantries, but I don't know them on a personable level. But if you haven't started forming relationships with people by now, you've got if you're in England, Britain, you've got 5 hours to form your community, because at midnight, boom. No, I was joking. That every opportunity you got to say hello to somebody, take it. If you're stood in a supermarket queue, say hello to the person in front or say hello to the person behind. See if they're receptive. If they smile at you, you've got a conversation. Whatever you talk about is not relevant, really. As long as you strike up a conversation with somebody, whatever you're talking about, price of food going up, whatever, anything that links to what's happening in the world, or just simple everyday pleasures, or oh, that's a nice jumper you've got on there. Oh, I knit it myself. Oh, did you? Whatever it is, it's just forming a bond with people. The cashier, take my time with the cashier. If I'm I'm the only one in a line at the checkout, I'm there until somebody else rocks up. I could be chatting with the cashier for 10 minutes till somebody else comes along, then I get out of the way. It's so important mixing with other people. Honestly, it's so important. So, yeah, what more can I say? Just make it now. Yeah, but hermetism is could drive a man to madness, and a woman. Because what we've got, if you didn't have the internet, you didn't have a telephone, you didn't have any neighbours that were friendly. It's just the way I see it. It's just me, myself, and I, with your own manic thoughts going around in your own manic head, driving yourself mad, like my Michael. Not being able to get what is in your mind out to other people, which is what Michael's trying to live in an isolated life, but he needs other people. He's proven it. He's on the internet, interacting with other people. He needs it, despite the fact that he fucking hates people.
He hates people. He alienates people. He attacks. I never did anything to him. I never saw you do anything to him. He had no reason to do what he did. He just went off.
Yeah. But I think he's got something like cabin fever or something like that. This is what it does. This is what isolation does. It unless you got a focus point that is, let's just say, for argument's sake, in your own imagination, you got a best friend. You got, like, children have what do they call it? These, like, secret friends, or imaginary friend, isn't it? Children have them. Yeah, children have imaginary friends. So we've got an imaginary friend. I have. And for a long time, I've imagined myself locked up. How would I cope with being locked up? And I would just have to pray and converse with God, and have a chat with Jesus Christ, and try and remain in control of my own anxieties. So, I think it's just so important to it's more important than I can first comprehend, really, how important having Jesus Christ in your life, in one's life, is. Because in those times of isolation, you can have a conversation, and He will provide you with what you need. And if you need a little bird to come up at your window and say hello, that cheers you up, that puts you in a little bit of light when you say, "Oh, my Lord, please help me." And a little bird, a little robin comes up to your window, or, a cat comes and visits, or a squirrel, or just something that you think, wow, is that a little gift for me, or is that just a coincidence? Weird things happen when you turn your life over to Jesus Christ. Weird things that I can't explain. Apart from the fact that God is real, that Jesus Christ is real, and that aligning yourself, your energy, your own energy, with the energy of a purity, that's what we aspire to be. That's what it is. The intent. Everything's about intent. If you intend to go out and do good, but you do a little bit of bad unintentionally, the intent was to go out and do good. And that is the crucial thing. Everything is about intent. And when we make mistakes, like, curse somebody, we're only human. That's something endemic in us all. And then all we got to do is say, "Oh, my Lord, I've made a mistake there." And then we can zero back out. It's as simple as that. And it might be a way of, well, it's just a way of getting through this fucking life, isn't it? Really, without suffering, isolation, or loneliness, or unfriendliness. Because you know, like I say, get out there. You just got to get in the energy. Let God knows what we want anyway. But if you say, listen, please, today, let me go out, just say a prayer. Please, my Lord, God, the Father, please, I just give me somebody to have a chat with. Go out. Don't look too hard because it will happen when it happens. It's like finding true love. If you've gone out to a nightclub looking for true love in the darkness and the strobe lights and the loud music, you know, is that the right place to look for your true love? Because you're pretty much leaving it up to sort of like speculation, really. But go on, when you align yourself and you say, listen, I need somebody to talk with, and God will say, listen, you need somebody to talk with. I will give you what you need because I can see what you need. He did it with me. Just go out, do it. Do it. And then when a miracle happens and you think, wow, is that coincidence? And then it happens again and you think, wow, is that coincidence? Was that specifically a little gift for me? Then all of a sudden, boom, it all makes sense. That's all I can say, really. But honestly, be humble, be ashamed of the bad we've done in the past. Wish we hadn't have done them. Ask God, please, give me another chance, please. Let me be born again. And he'll do it. But, you know, and then go out and spread the joy because you've got a testimony. You'll have a testimony. Testimonies are personal. The full experience of a personal testimony cannot be experienced by anybody else apart from ourselves. You know, like I say, skydiving. Well, somebody can say, oh, I went skydiving today. And I can say, oh, what was it like? Oh, it was exhilarating. Oh, you know, I shit my pants. It was that good. And oh, I was like screamed all the way down. What am I getting? I'm just getting a verbalization of an emotion, which I'm not going to get. There's no way I'm going to experience the emotion of jumping out of an airplane, free falling, by somebody explaining to me this is what happened. I shit myself. My stomach ended up in my mouth. You know, that's a testimony of falling out of an airplane. You know, I can say, oh wow, that sounds I don't know, that just sounds interesting. But if I went up in a plane and I jumped out, there I've got that experience. I've got that testimony of something that is must be so adrenaline packed. That wow, you think, wow, will my parachute open? That'll be my first thing. That's why I'm never going to go in a plane. I've never been in one and I never will. Unless I'm taken to China by plane and put in one of their ghost cities. I'd probably get cell number 322. I see that a lot.
Hey, we
Yeah.
used to have a show in the United States in the 70s, and it was called Room 322, I'm pretty sure. I was
Is
just
that
thinking
right?
of it the other day when you were talking about the numbers. I'm pretty sure it was called Room 322. I gotta look it up though.
Yeah, I'm looking it up as well, actually.
Was
There's room 101. What's going on with room 20?
TV show. No, it was Room 222. But that's six. That's six.
222 is also 2022.
But it's also a 6. 222. It says, what's going on with Room 322? Okay, I guess there's a channel called. I think Aaron Spelling was the producer of Room 2.
Oh, Aaron Spelling.
I worked for his wife. Did you know that?
No.
At that huge 52,000 square foot mansion. It was freaky as hell in there. Freaky. I'll tell you some stories another time. I'm just looking to see who was in this. Who produced
Yeah,
it.
Brotherhood of
No,
Death.
no, it's not. It's not spelling. It's Gene Reynolds. I don't even know who that is. But I got to go. I'm getting a headache now.
Yeah.
My vision's getting like kind of
Well,
blurry.
yeah, Lapis, that alone time gives us the opportunity to reflect, really, which is important. You know, particularly if we met somebody else. Alone time is obviously important, but also getting out and meeting people is important for a lot of people. I won't say for everybody. Some people just don't like people. So, yeah. I got schizophrenia, so I'm never alone. And I've got Jesus Christ, so I'm also never alone. I got a group of 3 with me, just with me. And where 2 or more are gathered together in the name of Jesus Christ, then there he is. So, to me and me, the 2 me's together, where 2 are gathered, that's me and me, and then there's Jesus Christ. But he is always there. It's weird. Okay, then. Anna. Yeah, but I'm sort of rambling on about I'm saying how important it is to mix with other people.
Yeah, it's important.
Yeah, and the whole agenda since in this country since the 1980s with Margaret Thatcher has been to divide people up in communities.
Hmm.
So I've been aware of that for 40 years of the agenda.
40 years. Wow.
40 years, yeah. 1980, I think funny enough, 1984. 1981, Margaret Thatcher aligned herself with Ronnie Reagan.
Yeah, I know.
That was 1981, and then in came that was the beginning then of the agenda in this country with Margaret Thatcher.
Yep.
So,
All right. Well,
all right.
I I gotta go take my bath and stuff before I pass out. So, darling, it's been wonderful, and
Yeah,
I'm sure I'm gonna see you later at Max.
possibly. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, if you're gonna be there, but I will be stopping by to check it out for sure.
yeah. Do that.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
Well, I'm
okie
sending
dokie then.
tons and tons of love to
Yeah,
you, to Lapis, to Anna, because especially them, because they really. This is the thing when you find people that just you gel with. You know what I mean? Like they were just perfect. They came, they spent this time with us, and they made it so much better. But because they were here. And so thank you. And to Bass who came and anybody who, stopped in and out, or even somebody that didn't want to come in. If you're there watching, we thank you for listening. If you have good intent in your heart, you just don't feel like coming in the chat, that's okay. We're sending love out to everyone who wants it, and even the people, the ones that harm others. We want to send love because the only way, if there's a way, that they will heal or do different is the love, sending the love. And it may not work, but by doing it, it like they say, living well is its own reward. So when you do it, you get the gift that you extend out. That love comes back. It's always good. Spreading love is never about good. It's always a good thing to do. Spread that love energy. Yeah. That's
Anna.
what I think. But some people it's hard to extend it to them. But we can always be mindful of we don't want to lower down into that energetic. And the only way to show people is the better way by example. So that's really important. And I just want to thank God that I know Richard, that I know London, that I know these lovely ladies, Lapis and Anna, and just I always know that we unite for the right reason, and we will always find our kindred folk, the people that we're meant to know here and in real life too. And always believe you will find your tribe. So that's all I have to say. Let me read the end of the chat. I
Right,
try.
hold that one a minute, because this is a thing. If you're trying to bring different factions of your community together, you shouldn't be doing that. You need to formulate relationships with individuals, and then there may well come a point where you can unite different people just because you are kind of like a beacon, or you have a relationship with so many different people that at some point when the shit does hit the fan and people don't know what to do, this is a time when people will come together. So uniting different factions, but I don't think we should be. I think we should be making one-on-one relationships, particularly. Well, yeah, simple as that. One-on-one relationships. So you just find those little beacons that are sent for you, and then in the fullness of time, all those little connections may well be united. So all those different factions in your community. I wouldn't concentrate on going out and changing my community. I would concentrate on, which is what I do, is those that I resonate, that's somehow I've resonated with when I'm out in the community, like I say. And I'm not trying to change my community as such, as I'm just trying to formulate connections, really, and friendships. And I got a lot over the years. I've been doing it for donkey's years. I got, well, at least, well, since I've been in Taunton. So I'm down like up to about 13 years. And I've got a list of people that is huge, that I've said, right, when you can't handle what's happening, you don't know what to do. When you don't want the microchip, or they're going to tell you to do something you don't want to do, even if up to now you've had that medicine, okay? Even if you succumb to that bullshit, just give me a call and say, Richard, I don't know what to do now. I don't want to do what they want me to do next, which it might well be the biology and technology. And so I've got my phone. So if at some point I'm expecting a lot of people to say, Richard, what do we do? Because I say to everybody, I do this with everybody. I say, I've done this with so many people that at some point, I'm not the head of it. I'm just another cog in a clockwork of a load of different people and a load of different influences. So at some point, it's important to make one-on-one relationships rather than trying to make a relationship with a group of people at the offset. Because at some point, there might be one group of people that has like an elder of that group of people, somebody that is more more regarded for what they say and how they are than everybody else. If you can form a relationship with that person, you've got an influencer over a specific group. So this is a way of maximizing our reach, is by finding those just finding those beacons, really. And then if you want to change your community, you can only do it one person at a time. And then once you've found one person, and you educate them on, whatever it is you want to educate them on, then they go out and they do exactly the same thing. So it's kind of like spreading like a virus, without you aware of how far your influence has gone, because it could travel around the world. Just one person saying something, and these people that say, "Oh, I've been trying for years to wake people up," and how how do people not? How do people know that what they said 5 years ago or 12 months ago hasn't actually sunk in and germinated? Nobody knows how far reaching something we said in the past has actually influenced other people. But that's the sort of thing, is make one-on-one relationships, or if you get a couple, have a chat. But you got to be open to these introductions, really, and these little beacons of energy. That's what we are. We're just energy, all fluctuating at different things, at different rates. Yeah. I mean, firstly, we start with changing ourselves, and then getting ourselves grounded in ourselves, however that you want choose to do that. Then we can go out and be confident, not ramming stuff down people's throats, not forcing ourselves on anybody. It's waiting for that smile, waiting for that hello. How are you? It's simple. Having a conversation with a random person anywhere is so simple. And with love and with love being the less dominant force, and people are, I find that people are quite not shocked to a degree, but shocked to a little degree about somebody coming up to them and saying hello and having a conversation. It's not normal these days. That is not a normal thing. Whereas if you went back, say 40 or 50 years, when we had telephone boxes, okay, the red telephone boxes in Britain, on a Sunday night there might well be half a dozen people waiting to make a phone call, and those people would have a conversation between themselves, and the person at the front of the queue waiting for somebody to finish their phone call would be rapping on the door. How much longer are you going to be? But the rest of the people were interacting. This is how it used to be. All on a similar level, all waiting for a phone call, to use the phone, all waiting in a queue in a supermarket. Just turn to the person next to you and strike up a conversation. A smile is a way of opening up a conversation. And then, depends what. Yeah, it's so crucial. It's crucial this year. The sooner we can make a connection, so we know we're not isolated in the way we feel and the way we are. I think, you know. But like I say, simple as that. Really, strike up friendships like we used to. Yeah, that's about all I got to say, really. Well, it's not. I could go on forever chatting. Yeah, I think that's
Okay. Well,
all right.
I gotta go because my neuropathy's really kicking up bad, and the way I'm sitting, I gotta take it out. But I just the lovely things that both Anna and Lapis have said, and just really the sense that it is it is that force of love, whether you call it Yeshua, Jesus, God, that when you're brought together with certain people, you'll know it more than others. But in actuality, they say anyone you come in contact with, that there was a reason, and so it's the soul. It's like, what are you going to do? Some people are going to create bad karma, and some people are going to try and create good karma, and so when you come with a pure heart, like that's just it's just a gift. I think to be able to start the new year with this on my channel makes me so happy. I just can't even tell you that they were here. You know that it really meant so much. It was just the four of and Bass too, but it was because he left. It was kind of this cool thing of the four of us. The fact that we all have Scottish blood. It's just was a. I just felt this vibe, this connection that really goes back to actually to Scotland even. Of I don't know, it was really cool. So I love that, and that's what gives my life meaning is meeting beautiful people and sharing with them. And I hope we can do that for as long as we're meant to. We will be, and that's what we intend to do. So I'm out, and I thank you all again for coming and just bringing so much with you, just your energy, great energy. We're talking about stuff that's not great, but the energy, we didn't go into a negative energetic. We're just talking about stuff that needs to be talked about, but we didn't let it eat us up while we were talking about it, And That's a really important thing, and challenging to do sometimes. It was great. I loved it. And my weak clan of truth warriors, my people finally. That's so cool. Yes.
Okay.
And maybe I will be in funny old Scotland one day. Soon. You never know. And if I do come there, you can come live with me in an off-grid cabin somewhere in the woods with your dog, but I've got cats. And we can have other people with us too, but only people that are like us, cool and loving and stuff like that. Okay? So gotta go. And also we will need separate dwellings because we do need our private space. So don't worry. We will build dwellings for everybody so everybody can have their privacy and space, but we'll all be there right next to each other whenever we need each other. Something like that. That's the kind of reality I'm going to create. Okay? So think good thoughts even in these difficult times. Just and again it can just be just focus on that higher power will guide you to on your mission. I just say God, just keep me on the path of my mission for the highest good of all involved, and let me be of love and service to your children, and whatever I can do, you know. So that's what I do. That's the prayer I make. If I got to be here, let me just serve you to the maximum capacity. And I believe that it's through love is our greatest way that we will help others. So I'm signing out now. Bye bye.
Bye all.
Oh,
Bye
get
all.
over here, Mrs. We will love them all better. I know. Wait, hey, listen, this could happen. So I'm going to say goodbye, though. It's hard to say goodbye, but we are going to say goodbye. And I know we're going to see each other soon. Make sure the bell is on for notification so that you'll know when I go live. Sending big hugs, kisses, and see y'all soon. Bye.